lies, for telling lies, for every night you stayed up and all the times you cried. Broken hearts on timelines, trapped in our confines. Love's a contract, signing blood on dotted lines. We perfect on the gram, but in person we a mess. All the filters in the world couldn't cover up this mess. We was goals to the people, but the love couldn't last. Posting pictures of the future, but we stuck in the past. We would argue every Friday, make up every Sunday, breaking up at midnight, back together Monday. Love is like a cycle, spin around on the runway, crashing every season, but taking off the same way. Say you want the truth, but you crumble when it's shown. You the type to break the windows and complain about the stone. See, I deleted all the text, but screenshots never lie. I was saying I was working, but I was really outside. I was caught up in the cycle, I can't seem to let it end. I was breaking every vow, but swearing all amend. I'm faithful on the gram, but a villain in the flesh. Two faces in the mirror, both toxic, both a mess.
I used to believe in you, hung on to every word you said. Thought it was me and you, but you had other plans instead. You couldn't stay true, you welcomed her into our bed. You must have lost your mind, you must be out your head, yeah. Cause you're a thief, you're a liar. I'll bring rain, I'll bring fire, and you won't know peace. You're a clown, you're a fool, but the joke's on you, cause you messed with me. I don't get hurt, no, I get even. Best believe it's heartbreak season. I'll bring rain and I'll bring fire, and you won't know peace. You won't know peace, you won't know peace. You won't know peace, no. You won't know peace. Best believe it's heartbreak season.
Let's go, get the lights up, y'all. Get the lights up, get the lights up, let's go. Shout out to the Ratchet gang, man. Hey, know I'm tone bite, know I'm tone bite, know I'm tone bite. We back, Ratchet gang. We back with another one. We back with another banger. Let's get the likes up. Look, you might have forgot. Hell, they might have forgot. But you already know it's the king. Too loyal, know I'm tone bite, RatchetTV. Hey, y'all already know, man. Y'all already know. Get the likes up if you in the building. And if you're new to the channel, hit that subscribe button, tap that notification bell so you can get the drop whenever I drop. Aight, so boom. Man. We got to talk, Ratchet gang. We got to chop it up. Look, tonight we got to talk about this Kada case again. We got to chop it up, man. There's been a lot going on in this case, man. It's getting loose. And it's getting allegedly. And everything I say is alleged. And it's all under the Fair Use Act. And you can see the fair use disclaimer in the description of this video and in the description of all my videos. This is just for entertainment and educational purposes only. This is just to educate my people on what we've been covering over here. Like I said, it's all under the Fair Use Act. And you can see the fair use disclaimer in the description of this video. And everything I say is alleged. Allegedly, y'all. Allegedly. Let me turn my mic up a little bit. Let's go. All right, we good. Ratchet gang, what's been going on, man? What has been going on since I last went live? Tatiana Tangenique. I appreciate you for the $10 salute. Oh shit, I need some water. All right. Salute to Patricia Snell. I appreciate you for the $10. Thank you. We got 20 on the screen, y'all. Hey, can we hit that honey bun tonight, y'all? We 80 away, man. Look, it's been loose in this damn chat. I ain't gonna lie. Got a lot of people with moderator wrenches. We got a lot of people to support the channel. But come on, y'all. Your boy Ratchet really been out of commission this whole month. And if it wasn't for me dropping my uploaded videos, I don't know what the fuck would happen because I've been cooking and eating on my. I done made more money this month than I made last month. But that's because I've been uploading my damn videos. I ain't been getting too much support. I don't know what the fuck been going on with my support system. I don't know what y'all been doing. My Cash App ain't been Cash Apping. The super chats ain't been super chatting. I don't know. I was like, I don't think they love me no more. They must not miss me. I just started snatching moderator wrenches. I said, look, I'm monitoring who's supporting and who not. I'm just gonna let y'all know I'm monitoring, and I'll be in this bitch by myself with no mods. If it's gonna be like, I made 85 on the last live, I think I made 50 on the last one. The fuck is going? Y'all be supporting anything that ain't content, but when it come down to somebody be giving you the interviews that you can't get, content that you ain't gonna see, your boy Big Ratchet got you and you don't got him. What's going on, Ratchet Gang? Support, support, support. If not, just double tap the screen and get the likes up, man. It is what it is. I ain't tripping. Double tap the screen, get these likes up. You already know what it is, man. Oh yeah. One of my subscribers hit me up and said today's his daughter's birthday and he wants to get a moment of silence for her before we start tonight. He didn't tell me her name, but RIP to your daughter, my boy. You didn't tell me her name. But salute to you and your daughter. Moment of silence right now. All right, salute, man. Salute to your daughter, brother. Salute, salute. Happy birthday to her, too, as well. Jojo hit me with the honey bun on Cash App. Thank you, Jojo. I appreciate you for that honey bun on Cash App. You already know I love you. I appreciate you, Jojo. Salute to you. Also, thank you to Indie Girl for that $20. I appreciate you, Indie Girl. We up to 40 right now. Thank you so much. I appreciate you. Salute, salute. Also, Red, thank you for the $2. I appreciate you. And you got your moderator wrench last time because you always support. Look, I don't give a damn if you throw me $1. You know what I'm saying? Shit, it is, but I love it all, man. So as long as you supporting the channel. Charger Girl threw up a 20 piece. Thank you, Charger Girl. Salute, salute, salute. That's what I'm talking about. Let's go, gang. So let's get into this story now. I don't know if y'all been living under a rock, but who has been keeping up with this Kada Scott case? Has anybody been actually keeping up with the case? If you have, drop the gems. If you have not been keeping up, drop the eyeballs. If you don't know what's going on, drop the eyeballs. If you already know what's going on, drop the gems right now so I can see how we got to cover this content tonight. We got you, King. Thank you so much, Jelly Bean. You know I love you, Jelly Bean. Salute to Lisa G for the Canadian 7-piece. I appreciate it. Lisa, you also be showing out over here. Every time I go live, you throw me something. So I'm going to give you a moderator wrench just because you always show support for me. I appreciate it. Salute, salute, salute. Miss Rocker, thank you for the $10. Says hit the damn button. Hit that like button, y'all. Hit it for Miss Rocker. Salute, Miss Rocker, for the $10. I appreciate you. Salute. Maria, thank you for the $5. I appreciate you. Salute, salute. I love y'all. See, that's what I just have to, sometimes I just got to get on to y'all and, give y'all the little push that y'all need. I love y'all, Ratchet Gang. Salute, man. All right. So it looks like some people have been keeping up. Let's see. Let me look at the chat. Come on, flood the chat, y'all. I want to know who has been keeping up. Drop the gems, flood the chat. Drop the gems if you've been keeping up with this case. Drop the eyeballs if you have not. Let me know. Danella, thank you for the. Damn it. My phone won't even go back to my damn screen. Okay. Thank you for the $10. I appreciate you. Her name is Leanne. Rest in peace, Leanne. And salute to my boy James, man. Sorry that you lost your daughter, man. But salute to Leanne, RIP, happy birthday, and salute to my boy James. Jack, thank you for being a member for 11 months. Y'all drop the flowers for Jack. All right. So now the story is starting to unfold, Ratchet Gang. The story is starting to unfold. I don't like nobody, period. Thank you for the $2. The story is starting to unfold. Now they are saying Kada was shot. Look, I've been talking to some sources behind the scenes. I don't know how true this is, so I'm not going to confirm this. This is just what I was told. I was told she was shot, and I was told she was strangled. That's what I was told. I was told shot and strangled. And I was told that this was a 3-man job. There was multiple cars at this location. There was multiple people involved, and a few people knew about this. I'm hearing that it was 3 males and possibly a female that know about the plot to unalive Kada Scott. Prayers
100-fold to you. Salute Big Ratchet. All mods, green team. Salute to you, Keyshawn, for being a member for 21 months. Y'all dropped the flowers for Keyshawn. Little pretty love. Thank you for the $5. I appreciate you. Salute, salute. So they're saying that she was shot. And also the medical examiner came back today to say the death was a homicide. Well, obviously she was shot. It was a homicide. But this came out before I came. I spoke to some people behind the scenes. They told me it's going to come out. She was shot. She was strangled. Whoop-de-whoop-de-whoop. And they saying that it was multiple cars at this location. The cops got all the evidence that says when she pulled up to this location, more people were there. They just don't know if he acted alone in the homicide. So that's what they're trying to figure out now. Real talk, shaded real. I don't know. Maybe I'm saying it wrong. Thank you for the $10. I appreciate you. So from what I'm being told, this is all bad, man. Salute to everybody that's been, helping this family out, this in need. Salute to everybody who's shed tears in behind this poor little girl. This is sad, bro, because I got nieces like that age. You know what I'm saying? So when I see stuff like this, I think about my nieces. I think about my family members because I got people in my family around that age, and it's just sad to go out like that the way she did and didn't deserve it. She didn't do anything to anybody. This is just another example of the law not being fair, and we have to pay for it of your fucking mistakes. And I'm tired of it. I think that we need to stand up, and it's time to police the police. I've been saying it for a couple of days, and I'm telling y'all, police the police. It's up to you. They didn't do their job the first time, the second time. Now it's coming out that this is the third victim from him. It wasn't just one more girl. He had a protective order for a girl that isn't going to expire until 2027. I'm like, what is going on? This man is a serial stalker and a serial woman beater and a serial abuser. This man just does not like women. This man hates women, and it's clear. He treats them like crap. We have camera footage that shows this man kidnapped another girl, forced her into his vehicle and took her against her will. The judge saw it. The DA saw it, and they let him fucking go. Said, you know what? We're not going to bother the judge. Hey, man, just go home. Don't strangle nobody else. Don't kidnap nobody. We good, all right? And he's like, okay, well, I'm going to do it again. And then guess what? He did it again. And guess what? He did it again. I believe this man has killed multiple girls. This is just my opinion. And this is alleged. I don't know this to be true, but I believe he has unalived multiple females. I don't think this was his first rodeo. Because I ain't going to lie. Ain't nobody that comfortable to just willingly just not even attempt to look for cameras, not scared, to grab somebody and to force them into a vehicle against their will. I mean, I ain't never kidnapped nobody, and I hope none of y'all have, but I'm just saying, I would think that it wouldn't just look like that. You know what I'm saying? You would think if this is your first time, I don't know. I've never harmed anybody, bro. I don't unalive people. I don't strangle and kidnap them. I don't do none of this shit. So look, I don't know. I would just guess that if this was your first time, you would have been a little more cautious. The way you did it, you look like a professional kidnapper. You look like you done snatched up several females. I ain't gonna lie to you, man. It looked like this was your about 15th rodeo. Salute to Reese Cup for the $10. Salute Ratchet Gang. Like, share, and vote on the poll. Let's go. Salute to Reese Cup for the $10. I appreciate you. Salute, salute, salute. Let's have an epic night tonight, y'all. Keep the donations flowing in. Let's have an epic night tonight, y'all. Let's go. So we got a lot to talk about, and this case has me so emotional. People are like, are you going to talk about the Fulio case? Fuck the Fulio case. We know that's open and shut. Them motherfuckers getting life. I don't need to cover the Fulio case. I did everything I needed to do in that case. That trial ain't shit for me. I know what's going to happen. Everybody's getting life. Nobody else is going to jail for that. Those are the people. They're getting life. Nothing to cover there. I covered the Diddy trial because I knew there was something to cover there. This Fulio trial ain't shit to me. This right here, I'm not here to get 1 million views every night. I'm not here for numbers and clout. I'm not a clout chaser. I am here to bring the truth. And this case needs all eyes and all feet and all people on deck. Everybody got to have 10 toes when it comes to this, because this is one of our sisters. You get what I'm saying? And this is not going to stop with her. This is going to keep happening until we do something about it. Y'all do understand that, right? And you got to teach your children to not, and I don't mean this in a bad way, to not end up like that in that situation, because she got in the car with the dude. Obviously, she didn't know what was about to take place, but we have to be smarter and make smarter decisions. A lot of children grow up with this in their hands. A lot of children grow up being raised by this and computer screens and whatever else. And a lot of parents ain't parents to teach their children right from wrong and to teach their children what they should do and shouldn't do. Not saying they're going to listen to us all the time, but I think that as parents and as adults, we have to be more stern, and we have to teach this next generation. I think that the parents in this generation have the hardest job of any parent in any generation. And I know you're saying, what about back in the day when there was a lot of racism? Well, guess what? When the fuck did racism stop? You might say, oh, well, what about when it just wasn't that good for, our people, or it just was a bad thing? No, look, these are the worst times ever. I don't give a fuck what nobody tell you. This is the worst time to be raising kids. Do y'all agree with me? Salute to, who is that? G for being a member for 30 months. Y'all go ahead and drop those flowers for G. Salute to James for sending me that $15 on Cash App. I appreciate y'all, man. Y'all showing out tonight. So guess what? I'm gonna put on an epic show for y'all. I'm not gonna keep talking and preaching. What I'll do is I'm gonna save my speech for after all of the content. But right now, just know your boy Ratchet is emotional about this one, man. This one has me thinking. This one has me. I've been drained from this case. I couldn't even get up and do shit today. Like, I was so drained from covering this stuff. And it's just like something demonic is attached to this case. And this is a sinister case. But without further ado, we about to get started. Let me get my videos ready, man. Let's see, where are we going to start tonight? Man. All right, let's go over here. Let's start right here.
Breaking.
All right, let's go. My bad, y'all. Let's go ahead and start. Let me get my camera ready. Hold on. All right, let's go ahead and get right here, man. Let's get started, Ratchet Gang. Y'all ready? Are y'all ready? Let's go.
Breaking right now at 4 o'clock. The Philadelphia medical examiner has now ruled Kada Scott's death a homicide. That laid word from police this afternoon, who now say they're recommending murder charges against Keon King, the man already charged in her disappearance. All this happening just hours after new court documents reveal details about phone calls and text messages between King and Scott on the very day she went missing. It is Wednesday afternoon. I'm Brian Taft.
And I.
All right, so they're upgrading his charges. He now had, right here, they didn't have the charges right, but they definitely did give him a unaliving charge. And he has another charge that is abuse of a corpse. I don't know what he did to her body or why they would have him for abuse of a corpse. Janet, thank you for being a member for a month. Y'all dropped the flowers for Janet. I don't know what he did to her corpse, but they also gave him abuse of a corpse. Well, I think it was abusive. Maybe I'm wrong on what it was, but he did something to her corpse while she was unalive. So I'm not sure what he did to her or what the facts are going to come out, but he definitely got abuse of a corpse also with the unaliving charge.
Sarah Bloomquist. The big story on Action News is the major development in the Kada Scott death investigation. While we now know her death has been ruled a homicide, we still don't know exactly how she died.
Belinda, thank you for being a member for 14 months. Drop the flowers.
Action News reporter Chad Fidelli live at East Mount Airy with all the developments today. Quite a busy day, Chad.
Yeah, like you said, the Philadelphia Police Department announced just a few moments ago that the medical examiner had ruled that Kada Scott's death was a homicide. It was announced on Twitter by Deputy Commissioner Frank Vanor. Now, I do know how Kada Scott was murdered. We're not releasing that information, making sure that the family has been notified.
Well, you don't have to release it. I'm telling you, I'm releasing it. She was shot and strangled. This will come out. I don't know if anybody has heard the information that Kada Scott was shot and strangled. Drop the gems if you heard that. Drop the eyeballs if you don't know what the hell I'm talking about right now. But they're saying they're not going to release it. But I'm telling you, she was shot. They unalived that poor baby, man.
But police department is recommending to the DA to file those murder charges, and just a few of the new details we're learning about the disappearance and murder of Kada Scott. Keon King's alleged criminal conspiracy began just before midnight on October 3rd, when court records say he stole a Hyundai Accent left unattended and running by a food delivery worker on the 6600 block of Sprague. Investigators say he'd used that stolen car to meet up with Kada Scott the following night. Charging documents say Scott and King made plans to meet up, with the final exchange between the two being, quote, CM when you hear. 6 minutes later.
CM when you hear. What the fuck does that mean? I'm not up on the kid slang, y'all. I'm sorry. The boy Big Ratchet look unk out of touch. I ain't gonna lie, look unk out of touch. What the fuck does CM when you get here mean? What? Maybe I'm missing something. What does that mean, gang? Can somebody tell me? Does anybody know what that means? CM when you get here? Call me, maybe. Call me. I'd see him call me. I don't know, but I don't know. I'm just gonna guess and say call me.
At 10:15 p.m., investigators say the two appeared to be together near Scott's place of employment, based on cell phone data. It'd be the last time Scott would be seen alive. At 10:24 p.m., Kada Scott's phone goes offline. 4 minutes later, the Hyundai Accent parks at the Arboretum, and the vehicle remains there. 15 p.m., and vetting documents say Scott and King made plans to meet up, with the final exchange between the two being, quote, CM when you hear. 6 minutes later, at 10:15 p.m., investigators say the two appeared to be together near Scott's place of employment, based on cell phone data. It'd be the last time Scott would be seen alive. At 10:24 p.m., Kada Scott's phone goes offline. 4 minutes later, the Hyundai Accent parks at the Arboretum, and the vehicle remains there. Using cell phone technology, investigators tracked King to this house on the 5500 block of Belmar Terrace. A search of the house turned up contractor bags, a hammer, and ammunition, among other items, according to the complaint. 2 women who lived there were detained and interviewed but released. King was not at the house. The criminal complaint says King's cell phone was tracked taking multiple trips between the Belmar Terrace home and the area where Scott's body was found. At 11:39 p.m. on October 5th, court records say King's registered Toyota Camry was caught on surveillance returning and parking at the recreation center next door to where Scott's body was found.
And y'all listening to this shit? This dude is a maniac. Thank you, Capri, for the $10. Salute to Capri. This dude is a freaking maniac, and he deserves life behind bars. This dude, what was he doing to her body that he kept going over there? So this dude was going over there every day. What was he doing with this body every day that he kept going over there repeatedly?
As King's cell phone was tracked taking multiple trips between the Belmar Terrace home and the area where Scott's body was found. At 11:39 p.m. on October 5th, court records say King's registered Toyota Camry was caught on surveillance returning and parking at the recreation center next door to where Scott's body was found. It says 2 people exited the vehicle, and 4 hours later, 2 individuals appeared to take a large object consistent with the body out of the Hyundai Accent. And so far, King is charged with kidnapping, theft, arson, and other related charges, but so far not murder, but those charges are expected, I'm told. No other accomplices at this point have been charged. Police continue to investigate, though. I did reach out to King's attorney, and so far have not heard back. I'm live in East Mount Airy. Chad Perdelli, Channel 6, Action News. Back to you guys.
Okay, Chad, thank you. As you heard there in Chad's report, police are trying to piece together the communication between Kada Scott and Keon King in the days and hours before her disappearance. One particular text that's now part of the investigation was sent at 10:07 a.m. on October 4th, nearly 12 hours before Scott disappeared. In it, she texted the words, quote, "Kidnap me again," to a number that police have now linked to King. The reply that came back, quote, better be up to, which was followed by specific plans to meet later that night.
Wait,
We were asking police if they can shed light-
wait. What the fuck? She told him kidnap me again. Didn't I tell y'all that I believed that these two were sexually active? Didn't I tell y'all? I think that might just confirm that there was a sexual relationship between Keon and Kada. But I told y'all that. I said something in me tells me that I believe that they were smashing. And I think he got mad because she moved on and she didn't want to do it no more. That's my opinion. But listen to this again.
As report, police are trying to piece together the communication between Kada Scott and Keon King in the days and hours before her disappearance. One particular text that's now part of the investigation was sent at 10:07 a.m. on October 4th, nearly 12 hours before Scott disappeared. In it, she texted the words, quote, kidnap me again, to a number that police have now linked to King. The reply that came back, quote, better be up to, which was followed by specific plans to meet later that night. We were asking police if they can shed light on the context of that alarming exchange. We do not yet have a response.
So what the hell? What did they role play? Or I'm trying to understand the context of a girl hitting a dude up and saying, kidnap me again. And he's like, you better be up too. And then they got, they decided to meet up that night. They said they were role playing. That's what I'm guessing. That maybe he did this before, but it was like his little kinky side. And that's what he gets off on. And I think this dude is just sick. I think he gets off on kidnapping girls and doing things to them. Maybe not necessarily the R word, but it's like his fantasy. He wants to R word somebody, so he fake kidnap and does this with, I don't know, man. This is just weird. This is weird. Yeah, I'm gonna be real. Look, when people ask, are you a freak? No, I'm not. Do I like having blank? Of course. You know what I'm saying? I like SC, whatever. But when I don't know what y'all definition of freaky is. I'm not freaky. Look, I'm just normal. Fuck that. I don't do none of this weird shit. I don't know what y'all be having going on. I am not a freak. I just, hey, I'm just a normal person. I've learned over the years that y'all definition of freaky, y'all into some more shit. I don't know what y'all got going on, but that ain't freaky. That is just, y'all just weird. But let's continue.
And R. Kelly Rule, who has been on the Kada Scott case pretty consistently for the better part of 2 weeks. And Kelly, just as we're getting ready to come on the air, there is an update on the charges that we all have been kind of waiting to see what happened.
Yes, we just got official confirmation from the medical examiner's office through Philadelphia police that the cause of death for 23-year-old Kada Scott is a homicide. That is what investigators have been waiting on to move forward with homicide charges. So Philadelphia police said they are recommending homicide charges against 21-year-old Keon King. You'll recall he is in custody for kidnapping, arson, and other related charges connected to Kada's disappearance. They are now recommending homicide charges against him. Will ultimately be up to the district attorney's office to move forward and officially charge him. We have reached out to them and we have not heard back from them. Obviously, this just came out in the last 10 minutes or so. So it's going to take a little bit for those charges to officially be filed, but we are awaiting confirmation that they will do that. At the press conference with the district attorney's office on Monday, they did say homicide charges will be filed this week. So we do expect that to come.
So this was not unexpected. I mean, there was still speculation as to whether or not there were other people involved as to how Kada Scott tragically lost her life. This confirmed what most people suspected, but it doesn't change how many people may be charged as they go forward. Those questions still have to be answered.
That's exactly right.
Didn't I tell y'all more people are going to be charged? Look, I don't know what y'all think in the chat, but they are investigating multiple people right now. 91% of the chat says more people will be arrested in this case. 9% of the chat says no. Make sure y'all vote on that poll. Will more people be charged in the Kada Scott case?
And sources all week that these homicide charges were coming and that they would be against 21-year-old Keon King. Again, he's been in custody and he's been charged twice now for different crimes, all again connected to Kada's disappearance. So we did know this was coming, but it does not change the fact that the investigation is ongoing. The district attorney's office, police did make it clear that they believe Keon King had help. We know that there's surveillance video over at the rec center here next to the school that showed another vehicle and other people there when the car that Keon King is connected to was there. So
What I tell y'all, listen to that again. More people were there. What did they do to this poor little girl? Who was there with this dude and what did they do to her?
not change the fact that the investigation is ongoing. The district attorney's office, police did make it clear that they believe Keon King had help. We know that there's surveillance video over at the rec center here next to the school that showed another vehicle and other people there when the car that Keon King is connected to was there. So we do expect that there are others involved in that additional charges, additional arrests could come. This does not change that. And it doesn't change, maybe even additional homicide charges as well. But all along, they have been confident that homicide charges would be coming against Keon King. And now it's just a waiting game to see if that's ultimately what the district attorney's office moves forward with.
Okay, and so then just for my clarity, so the official ruling came out of the medical examiner's office. That was confirmation that it was homicide. Now the charges, the district attorney's office takes that information and decides how to proceed.
Exactly. All police can do is recommend charges to the district attorney's office, and they confirmed within just the past few minutes or so that is what they are doing. They are recommending homicide charges. That's kind of all they can do at this point. Now it's in the district attorney's office hands to move forward and officially charge him. Again, Keon King is in custody. He has been for almost 2 weeks now, I guess a week and a half or so, and has had 2 additional sets of charges against him. So this will just be additional charges when he's in custody, but it will be up to prosecutors to officially go forward with that.
Okay, and then obviously this was the news that we needed to get to immediately, but throughout the day, Kelly, and I kind of give us an update on that. You were also looking into questions and concerns that people had about kind of the state of the building, the facility, why some of this area had not been maintained.
Yeah, so this property has been vacant for more than a decade now, since 2008, and this has been an eyesore for the community. Neighbors in the community have complained about it for quite some time. And on Monday, when a flurry of landscaping crews showed up from the city's Department of Parks and Recreation and CLIP with the School District of Philadelphia, because it is a shared property, they were happy to see that there was some improvements being made, at least to the landscaping, but they were also frustrated, saying, it took a absolutely horrific tragedy to happen behind the school for all this attention and all this work to show up. So today we spoke with a longtime homeowner that lives just a few blocks away on Ardley Street, who also coaches baseball at the rec center here on the baseball field and has for 25 years. Says it's a beautiful park, but often it, as people are playing there, this is the backdrop, and it's just been frustrating. So he wishes it never happened. He feels this is a tragedy that maybe could have been prevented here, not, entirely, but a tragedy that could have been prevented here.
What do y'all think about that, man? So there were multiple people involved in this unaliving. There was multiple cars there. They just, I'm assuming, I think they do know who it is. And I think that they're just, following up on the investigation, not quite sure what the hell is going on or what they're not releasing all the details for obvious reasons, because they're going to pick more people up here pretty soon. And I think it'll be probably, it's already fixing to be Thursday. So let's see. If it's already Thursday, I don't think the charges will come down until next week. I'm gonna be honest. I don't think the charges will even come until next week. Terry, thank you, Terry Walsh, for the $30 on Cash App. I appreciate you, Terry. Thank you thank you, Terry. I appreciate you. Salute. Yeah, so I'm not sure, y'all, but definitely something is going on here, and this was a plot. He had plans on kidnapping her that night. I don't know why she went along with it, but this is obviously not the first time that they've engaged in something like this. Do you guys believe that they were sexual? Do you think there was a sexual relationship between Keon and Kada? Let me know in the chat. What do y'all think? Was there a relationship sexually between these two people? Let me know in the chat. Also, what I want to revisit real quick before we continue, I want to revisit this for obvious reasons because I think that this was one of the accomplices. I think that this is one of the people that helped out after the fact, though. I don't think that she helped plan it or plot it. I think Gabby was one of the people who helped him after the fact.
Hi, my name is Gabby, and I'm going to be discussing some of the misinformations that are going around in the internet regarding me and the Kada Scott situation. So if you are unaware, Kada Scott is a girl that went missing in Philadelphia on October 4th. So I did know Keon. He was my friend. I met him about 4 or 5 years ago, and he was also the local pharmacist. Now, me and my best friend, we were also mutual friends with Keon.
And look, little ugly ass little girl, quit calling him the local pharmacist. The dude was a petty drug dealer.
He was our pharmacist. So one day Keon calls me, and keep in mind, I am in school, I am in Maryland, and he will usually just call me, just to check up and talk. So he calls me and he asks me if I know Kada. And I'm like, yeah, I know Kada. And he's like, oh yeah, I noticed that she lives really close to you. I'm like, yeah, she lived right in the back of me. And I'm not thinking nothing of it because he usually calls me and, we just be chatting. He'll call me about the people that be around because he is the pharmacist. I live in the neighborhood and
This girl is a fucking liar. Look, I think everybody in here know a lion ass female, and she just has the body language of a lion ass female. She's the setup queen. She's the one who put him onto Kada. Now she acting like she don't have a clue what's going on.
he be in my neighborhood. So we hang up the phone and that was that. We were only on the phone for 29 seconds. So you can see that this is the day that he called me, and this was before Kada went missing, and we were only on the phone for 29 seconds. Also, I know that his name says Elliot in my phone. That's just what we call him. So a couple of days after that, my best friend calls me, and we're just talking about life. And I mentioned to her how Keon brought up Kada to me. I'm not thinking nothing of it. I'm like, oh yeah, he was probably trying to flirt with her. He's probably trying to get at her. Mind you, me and my best friend, we know Kada because we grew up with her little sister. Now, we didn't know Kada personally because, again, we grew up with her little sister. We were around 12, 11 years old. Kada, she was much older than us, so we didn't really talk to her. So my best friend was like, oh yeah, he probably thought she was cute, and that was that. So right here is the day that I called my best friend and told her that, Keon was trying to get at Kada. This is before she went missing.
What's down there? For images, man. Until 1950.
So a couple days, maybe a week after that, it is reported on October 4th that Kada is missing. So keep in mind, I am in Maryland, so I'm not really into all the Philadelphia news that be going on. So I'm not knowing that Kada is missing until my best friend sends me a text and says that Kada is missing. So this is the day that my best friend tells me that Kada is missing on October 9th. So I'm in my friend's dorm and I call Keon, and it's a lot of music and a lot going on in the background. So I go somewhere that's quiet and I tell him, Keon, Kada is missing. That girl, she's missing. So he was like, what? And then after that, the phone just hung up.
Someone said she's talking her way into an indictment. Facts. This girl, do y'all believe that Gabby is involved? If you do believe Gabby is involved, drop the gems. If you think Gabby is innocent, drop the caps. If you think Gabby didn't do nothing, drop the caps. If you think Gabby is going down for this shit and she's involved, drop the gems.
So here you can see that I called Keon and we were on the phone for 2 minutes. So you have to keep in mind, this was my friend, okay? I did not think that he could be capable of anything like this. In my head, I'm just thinking, there's no way in the world he could have did something like this. There's no way in the world. So then a couple of days after that, my mom sends me a screenshot of Keon turning himself in for the kidnapping of Kada. So this is my mom sending me the article, and she was distraught to see.
And this is your mom. Your mom says this is exactly why she tells her not to get in the car with random people. I know the black guy. He was the captain in the 35th. She said, I know the black guy. He was the captain in the 35th. And I called him when you were arrested. I should have been a lawyer, and I would die if I couldn't find you. What the fuck is her mama talking about? That's kind of weird, but let's continue.
The least. And I know she said that he was a random person, but she says this about all my friends. So
your mama shouldn't call your friends random. That's kind of weird.
So me and my best friend, we get on the phone and we're talking about the situation. We're just saying how this is just crazy. This is the call of me and her talking about it. Now, this is all happening around the time that I'm taking my midterms. So I'm really just trying to keep my head on the books. And I wasn't really trying to let this stress me out. So I kind of just let it go. You know, he turned himself in. It's not really much to say or do anymore. So a couple days after that, me and my best friend get on the phone and we're basically just, you know, talking about the Kada situation. And she says that she thinks that I should call the cops. So she was basically saying that she thinks that I should call the cops and tell them that Keon was, you know, asking about Kada. Now, at the time in my head, I'm thinking that there was no reason to call the cops. He already turned himself in. And I felt like it would be kind of a waste of time to tell them that the guy that they already have in custody, you know, called me and was asking about the girl.
Well, obviously, you're not that smart because you just talked yourself right into a subpoena. When he goes to court, guess who's going to get a subpoena? You, little peanut head ass little girl, you're going to get a damn subpoena. You just gave up information willingly that you just should have shut up about. But everybody wants clout when somebody dies, right? Guess what, Goofy? You're going to jail.
And me personally, I'm not a cop caller. Like I don't call the cops. That's just the way that I grew up. That's what I was around. You know, they will always tell me, you know, you don't call the cops. So I just felt like, you know, the information that I had and the fact that, you know, I'm just not really a cop caller, it wouldn't make sense for me to call the cops. So then my best friend tells me, well, you know, if you won't call the cops and tell them, then I will. And then she basically tells me that she doesn't want to be friends with me anymore because I won't call the cops. And I told her, you know, that's completely fine. I just don't want any involvement. So then we hung up the phone, and then I believe she called me again with the police on the other line.
Trio, the #1 swimsuit brand on Amazon US for 2 consecutive years. Experience the brand new 3D hope.
So she called her with the cops on the phone this time. Let's go. Get the likes up, y'all. Double tap that screen. If you want to see justice for Kada, double tap the screen in the chat right now. Double tap that screen to get the likes up. Let's go. We got $145 on the screen. Let's get 255 to go. Let's go, gang.
You can see, I told her, you know, I'm sorry. I'm not talking to the cops. And yeah. Now, I can see how this could be cruel, and I do take accountability for that. So then, a couple of days later after that, I get sent a link.
She didn't say, I see how that could have been cruel, but, you know, I'm going to hold myself accountable for that. You hung up on the police when they were talking to you about a dead body. Fuck you.
Instagram. And the link was basically my best friend going live, just talking about the situation, saying how I was weird for not going to the cops, and people in the comments were just coming up with their own narratives about the story, and it just got way out of hand and it just spiraled. So you can see somebody sent me the link of the live, and still to this day, I have not watched the full entire live. Then people just started asking, you know, who is Gabby? What's the connection? And, you know, she told people that I was in Maryland for school, and it was just a whole entire thing. So, of course, I was angry and I was confused because what is going on? So I text her, I tell her that, you know, that was weird. And yeah. Then I started seeing posts of people saying that they think that I set Kada up, and that why wouldn't I go to the cops, and that I was just suspicious and all of this stuff. And this was never the case. So I do end up contacting the authorities after I seen people just making up crazy stuff about me and the situation. They cut me off. They tell me that they already know what's going on, you know, that they have a close eye on the social media. And they also tell me that my friend did come forth with the information, and they told her that there was nothing that they can do, that the information that she brought them was useless information because they already had Keon in custody and it was just nothing for them to do with this information. They told me to contact them only if I had anything that could lead to finding Kada, because
salute to Christy Reed for the $50. I appreciate you, Christy. Salute, salute, salute. We 5 away from 2 honey buns. Let's go.
that is their main priority. Now, I do believe that the person in the live was just kind of taking what I told her and running with it and just spicing it up to make it seem like something that it wasn't for, I don't know, maybe views. People were saying that, you know, she was walking around and showing what stores Kada would go to, where she would walk her dog, and just stuff like that. I also had one of our mutual friends come to me, and he told me that she told him that we knew Kada our whole lives and like we grew up with her, which wasn't the case because we grew up with her little sister. Now, I do think that the person in the live was taking what I told them and kind of just running with it and spicing it up to make it seem like it was way bigger than what it was. And I basically think this because I had a mutual friend that came to me and said that she came to them and told them that we knew Kada our whole life and that we grew up with Kada when that wasn't the case. We grew up with her little sister. My prayers go out to Kada and her family, and I hope that
This girl full of shit. What do y'all think about Gabby? Thank you, Danella, for that $5. I appreciate you, Danella. Salute, salute, salute. What are your thoughts on Gabby, guys? What are your thoughts on Gabby? Let me get right here. What are your thoughts on Gabby, everybody? All right, let's go right
here. Like, they just ruled Kada Scott's unalive as homicide. The charges, y'all, is murder and abuse of a corpse. Watch this.
Just within the past few minutes, the Philadelphia District Attorney's Office just approved a list of new charges for the suspect, Keon King, to now include murder and abuse of a corpse. Now, at the top of the hour, we heard from Aaron Baskervilles reporting that the medical examiner's office ruled her death a homicide, and now those charges officially filed as of this past hour.
When I say he better get life. That's all I can say right now. Because what I really want to say, my video probably will be taken down. But when I tell you, the prosecutors better fight, and I'm talking about fight hard, to either give him life or the motherfucking death penalty. And another thing I want to mention, from my last post, when he's speaking on that lawyer, Shaka Johnson, being his daggone attorney, the attorney that he obtained. Y'all keep telling myself, oh, it's from his last case that he did. So why CBS Philadelphia report and had his name in the daggone article as his lawyer? First of all, CBS Philadelphia News is a big news company, so don't y'all think they did their research to find out who his attorney was? Like, this is why I'm showing it right here. Because y'all stay on this internet going off of whoever y'all be going off of, thinking y'all know what y'all talking about. Sometimes my ass probably do be making mistakes, but if I make my mistakes, I'm gonna correct them. And a lot of my real supporters know that. Go do y'all research like I do. Shaka Johnson is definitely his lawyer, which is why CBS News tried to reach out to him and had heard back from him. They know who the fuck his lawyer is. So stop getting in my comments trying to tell me that I don't know what I'm talking about. Because the same way I research, the same way y'all can. If y'all watch this whole video through, make sure y'all are telling me y'all thoughts on this whole situation. Like, we've been waiting for him to get that murder charge. We already knew it was him. Now it's time for the accomplice that he conspired with to be up on the daggone news and in jail too. Justice for Kada Scott.
Salute to my girl Chardonnay, man. Salute to Chardonnay Love, man. I rock with her. She is a cool person. But one thing I can tell you is it wasn't an accomplice. I'm not saying I'm right. I'm just telling y'all what I heard. I heard there was 3 people. I heard there was 3 males and a female after the fact. I heard there was 3 males, Keon being the 3rd male. So there was 2 other, let me correct it. I heard there was 2 other males during the fact, and I heard that there was 1 female after the fact. I don't know that I'm right. I'm just telling y'all what I heard. I heard there was 3 males, including Keon, and I heard there was another female after the fact. Who that female is and who those other 2 guys are, to be determined.
Go away, don't come over here. Kara, call the cops. Call it. It's all these kids in here. Call the cops, you dumb bitch. He comes around the window. Go that way, Cameron.
So I met this guy in 2023. It was either January or February. And I met him through my cousin. So he is a DRUG dealer.
On Kada Scott today, the 23-year-old went missing over the weekend while working an overnight shift. Police turned to the public for information surrounding her disappearance yesterday as family members are increasingly concerned about her well-being.
It's been horrible. I just want my daughter to come home. Never came home. I was calling or it went straight to voicemail.
A cause for even more concern. Scott had reported being harassed just a few days before disappearing.
Didn't help this. Anything will help at this point.
So remember that she was reporting being harassed. But you got to think about this. I don't think Keon was harassing her. Well, I know it wasn't Keon harassing her. So who was the person that was contacting her, harassing her? She was cool with Keon. She wanted him to kidnap her that night. She asked him to. So who was the person or persons that was harassing her, calling her phone? Who were these people? Who was this person? Who were these people? They said one of the girls. Now, ding, ding, ding. That's what I think. And I do believe we know who that girl is. I think we all know who that girl is.
Imagine a man getting arrested for something he know deep down inside he should never did. But somehow, instead of getting prosecuted, the charges get dropped. Not once, but twice. Both times tied to a man accused of putting his hands on a woman. But because these women never showed up for court, those cases disappeared. And then they say, third time's a charm, right? It's sad, but it's true. And this time it came with a tragic ending. A young woman sent her mom one alarming message before heading to work and then vanished. Days went by, almost 2 weeks, and she never made it home. The search grew louder, the questions got heavier, and soon after, a discovery was made behind a nearby school, left the community heartbroken. Now before we go any further, I want to make something clear. One of those earlier cases that had been closed since then has now been reopened. After doing some research.
So yeah, they did reopen one of his cases. They closed the case, and now that this has happened, they've reopened one of his old cases.
The Family TV found out this came after a woman who allegedly had an interaction with the same man had put this video out from 2023 on social media after hearing his name in the news, speaking out on her own experience. And of course, I'm gonna let y'all later hear what she had to say, fam. But here's the part that stood out. Less than 48.
That girl looks like she's about, how old does that girl look to y'all? How old does she look to y'all?
Hours ago, from me doing this video, this same woman had came out on social media and said she had directly spoken with the district attorney's office after they confirmed they're reopening those charges. So as we go through this story, we're going to hear from her as well. And I want y'all to keep one thing in mind. We talk about patterns, protection, and accountability. At what point does it become too late? I'll let y'all decide that. But before we go over this, I want you guys to remember, I won't give you no angle. I just give you the story. So with that being said, make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. We'll jump right to it. Now the woman we're talking about today is 23-year-old Kada Scott from Philadelphia. Family described her as hardworking, full of energy, and always put others first. She had dreams, goals, and a bright future ahead of her. She went to Penn State. She recently started working at the assisted living facility as she pursued her entrepreneurial dreams, located on East Abington, where she was expected to do her 10 to 6 shift. October 4th, that morning, Scott was getting ready to head out for work. Before she left, she sent her mom a text message.
So they're saying she sent her mom a text message right before she went into work.
That immediately felt off. The tone, the wording, it wasn't like her. And that's what raised the first red flag. Hours passed and her phone went silent. She didn't clock out of work, didn't answer calls, and didn't show up home that evening. Her family didn't waste no time. They contacted police, started organizing searches.
And for everyone who wanted to know, the big elephant in the room was, is Keon's dad a cop? I have since confirmed that Keon's dad is most definitely a cop. And not only is his dad tied in with some form of law enforcement, so is his mother.
Her picture across social media. And at that point, you had neighbors who began helping out as well. The more people learned, the more it became clear something wasn't right. And by October 5th, 2025, Scott was officially reported missing.
They're stepping up their efforts to find Kada Scott today. The 23-year-old went missing over the weekend while working an overnight shift. Police turned to the public for information surrounding her disappearance yesterday as family members are increasingly concerned about her well-being. Action News reporter Taronda Thomas live in the neighborhood this afternoon with more on the search today. Taronda.
Well, Brian, you can't go too far here in Mount Airy without seeing a picture of Kada Scott. Her face is on posters and flyers that are posted up across this area. The 23-year-old was last seen at about 10 o'clock on Saturday night. Police have used canines, helicopters to search for her, and today her family began their own search. A desperate search for answers. Chopper 6 flying overhead as community members and loved ones of Kada Scott canvassed Mount Airy looking for information that could lead them to the missing 23-year-old.
It's been horrible. I just want my daughter to come home.
Her mother understandably worried after Scott did not return home Sunday morning from her overnight shift at this assisted living facility.
Thank you, Angie, for the $5.
The terrace at Chestnut Hill. Police say shortly after arriving at work Saturday night, she left and has not been heard from since. The facility where Scott works does not have surveillance cameras. Her car was found still parked at work with no activity on her phone or social media accounts.
She never came home. I was calling, it went straight to voicemail.
A cause for even more concern, Scott had reported being harassed just a few days before disappearing. Friends and family covering the area with flyers of Scott, who is a Penn State grad. Police say they have gotten some new tips that they're looking into now, hoping to find her.
Please, if you have children, just think of your children. I just need somebody just to help. Even if you don't think it wouldn't help, just anything will help at this point.
Kada Scott was last seen wearing black scrubs. She's about 5'6", thin build, around 120 pounds. If you have any information, contact Philadelphia Police. You can leave an anonymous tip by calling the tip line at 215-686-TIPS. In Mount Airy, Taronda Thomas, Channel 6 Action News. Sarah?
Yeah, hopefully they get some direction on this. Taronda, thank you.
Now, the 4th was a Saturday. By Wednesday, October 8, 2025, Philadelphia police were making an arrest. Keon King, authorities claiming he was allegedly the last person to see Scott before she went missing. Now, they didn't disclose the extent of their relationship, but police did say they did believe that the pair came into contact days before the disappearance. Now, around the same time, a young mom identified as CC from Philadelphia had posted a video on TikTok with the caption, "I'm glad you're in jail now. Can't hurt nobody else. This is him. One of many times he tried to break in my house."
Man, so again, she said, "I'm glad you're in jail now. Can't hurt anybody else. This is him, one of the many times he tried to break into my house. Hope they throw him under for everything he's ever done." Hashtag Keon King. This is CC from Philadelphia saying this about him. This is the girl, she said he stalked her and tried to break into her house on many occasions.
For everything he's ever done. Keon King. Now mind you, fam, at this point, Kada's body is still yet to be found. The family and friends on foot doing extensive searches from information they gathered online and given to the police. Now in this TikTok video, you can tell this man a little off. He doing karate stances while jumping over the fence. Don't even look like he banged on a home before being identified and leaving. Now, less than 48 hours ago, this young lady later disclosed who this man is, how they got into a relationship, what was the time frame of this video. But I want to stay in chronological order, because after this video was made, the people would later find out where exactly was Kada allegedly located as they searched the area for days.
Go away, bitch. Don't come over here. Karen, call the cops. Call the... It's all these kids in here. Call the cops, you dumb bitch. He coming around the window. Go that way, Cameron. Yeah, bitch, bye. Go away, bye. Yep, bye. Bye. Keon out here.
Now, I don't know if y'all peeped it, but it definitely looked like he was toting. I'm sorry, it definitely looked like he was carrying a firearm. But then
he was gonna unalive that little girl. Keon was finna go in there and unalive that little girl. He had a strap on him. He was trying to get into that house with her and all them other little kids in there. This dude was a serial stalker, a serial kidnapper, and I believe he's a serial iller as well. I think Keon King has multiple bodies under his belt. And I don't think it was no ops or nothing. I think they were all women that he was infatuated and obsessed with. I think he got off like on some Jeffrey Dahmer, Ted Bundy type ish.
October 15, 2025, 11 days Since Kada's disappearance, a car believed to be connected was found Wednesday afternoon in the East Falls section of Philadelphia. Neighbors heard the chopper overhead as officers canvassed the parking lot at Gapsy Lane condos. Apparently, that's where Keon's mom lived. The vehicle was a 1999 metallic gold Toyota Camry with Pennsylvania tags MSX0797, which matched the description and license plate number released by investigators earlier in the day. It's also worth mentioning that the vehicle reportedly been listed on Facebook Marketplace about 3 weeks ago and was parked at the condo complex for at least 5 days.
So he was trying to sell this car right when he was trying to plan out unaliving this poor girl.
Footage shows the driver leaving the property about 35 minutes after arriving. A resident had approved the driver access to the lot, but it's still unclear who was behind the wheel and who was that resident. Now, according to the police, a neighbor had saw the Toyota in the parking lot and called the authority. Police say the car had been seen in multiple neighborhoods across the city before it was recovered. Now, also on that Wednesday, police deployed drones, K9 units, and crime scene teams, and apparently closed the police academy and had over 300 new recruits searching an abandoned elementary school in Germantown. Sources say they found physical evidence at the scene, including Scott's car and a phone case. In fact, you could tell she was leaving a trail.
In the disappearance of Kada Scott, 21-year-old Keon King was in court today, now being held on $2.5 million bail. And as that case plays out, authorities now still searching for any sign of Kada Scott. It is Thursday afternoon. I'm Brian Tapp.
What do you guys think about that, man? The girl Cece also was being stalked by him.
They found another set of remains in the same area that they found Kada Scott's body? Yo, this is some crazy stuff, y'all. We got some updates, and I'm telling you right now, this man, I don't think he operated alone, all right? And I think that there's more people involved in this situation. Now, we already know that Kada Scott's body has been found. Keon King has been arrested in his involvement in the disappearance of Kada Scott. And of course, he's looking at a slew of charges, but he's not getting charged with M yet. They haven't charged him with that yet. It's coming, but they haven't done it yet. The conspiracy charge is what bothers me.
Exactly. He has a conspiracy charge. Can anybody in this room tell me, if you have a conspiracy charge, what does that mean? Can anybody tell me, if you got a conspiracy charge, what is likely the outcome of that conspiracy charge? Is it because he had help? That to me means this dude didn't act alone. And they got multiple people. They said another person, he has help. Exactly. He did not act alone. So that being said, more charges are on the way.
That means that there's more than just one person that was involved, at least in the cover-up of the crimes that were committed to Kada Scott. But here's what's really interesting. They're now saying that another search has been conducted in the area that Kada Scott's body was found, because get this, they found another set of remains in the same area. Yes, I didn't stutter. They found another set of human remains in that same area that Kada Scott's body was found. So the question is, are we looking at Keon King as a serial monster? Or is this a spot that everyone goes and dumps bodies at? Is this a spot that he likes to dump bodies at all?
There you go. There you go. I don't think that this was just a local spot to dump bodies. I think this is where he found out that he could get away with his crimes. And I think if they go dig up all around there, they're going to find more bones of more missing girls in the Philadelphia area. Just my opinion.
Time. That is a question. You got to remember, somebody did an anonymous tip to help them find where Kada Scott is. So somebody knows something out here. This is really strange, okay? The water stinks with this one. I'm being real. Something's weird, and I feel like this is a group of people that were involved in this whole thing, and they've done this more than just once. But again, this is just my theory. Obviously, they're going to be doing their due diligence. We'll find out more information. Share this. Hit that like. Don't forget to follow. This is absolutely nuts, y'all. More to come.
What do y'all think about that? He definitely has a conspiracy charge, meaning, brother, they about to get the people that you was tied into. And they're about to go through all of those text messages. They're going to go through that thread of text messages, and they're going to find everybody that's involved in this. Philadelphia got to hold the L for this one, man. The police in Philadelphia did a horrible job at this.
Stuff that I watch on TV and crime shows, scripts. To see this happen to someone so close to me.
Priya is describing what goes through her mind when she thinks about her friend Kada Scott. The two met while attending Penn State University. She says losing Kada has been a nightmare she still cannot fully understand.
It hurts because I kept replaying this on my mind that she didn't even stand a chance. You can give her a week, you can give her a few days, you can give her anything. Everyone was so hopeful that we would find her and she would be alive.
Just a few weeks ago, she tells us Scott was getting ready to be one of her bridesmaids. Priya is sharing this video of Scott excited, trying on the dress she was going to wear.
She was the type of person that she said she was going to do it. She was going to do it. She followed through all the way. And that is just something that I'm really, really proud of her for.
On Tuesday,
Man, that's just sad, man. That is sad, bro. That people gotta actually. This dude, he fucked up a lot of people's lives by doing this, including his own.
Second day in a row, an army of workers descended on the old Ada Lewis Middle School. They're tearing down shrubs and clearing debris. It's been 3 days since investigators found Kada Scott's body in a shallow grave in a wooded area far behind the vacant building. We saw a crime scene unit van going back behind the school once again today.
This school is sitting here and it looks so nasty, so disgusting.
There are now renewed calls to demolish the former school, which opened in 1973 and shut down in 2008. Philadelphia City Councilwoman Cindy Bass wrote a letter Friday to the school district demanding leaders move with urgency to take it down, sending NBC 10 a new statement today saying, in part, the recent tragedy underscores what residents have been saying for far too long. This site poses serious risks and demands urgent action.
Why the fuck did it take for this to happen? That school has been abandoned since 2008. That was 17 years ago. Like, what the fuck? Like,
y'all, come here. Apparently they're saying that Kada was basically fighting. She was fighting Keon King, y'all. Because when they found her daggone stuff at the Ada Lewis school, they said that it was May's phone, her phone, and cards or whatever like that. Just listen to this lady. And this is a woman that was out there helping search for Kada for days. So these people are very credible. They know what the heck they searched out there, and they know what they did. Just watch.
You know, one thing I will say is she was fighting. She definitely was fighting. That's how they discovered her phone, her debit cards, and her mace. She maced him. So what happened was, you know, he finished her off however he did. Now, on her agreements with who come in, what he's saying about as far as her body being there, I agree to an extent he did do the ditch. Earlier that day before who come in and anybody came out, it was me and a lady, Miss Ava, and some other woman. We was out there early that afternoon. We searched that whole perimeter twice, and we all three of us said, I don't know why I feel like she's right here.
yeah, this was definitely from my interview. So what happened was a bunch of TikTokers were in my live. They never gave me credit, except for Chardonnay did. She did give me my credit. So not talking about Chardonnay. I love Chardonnay. I'm not talking about you. Don't cuss me out. But it was a bunch of TikTokers. So before this happened, Chardonnay didn't know that this was from my interview. She found out afterwards, and since we collabed on some reels and stuff like that. But they never gave me the credit, of course. They just went with my damn interview and just started posting it on TikTok and never said it was from Ratchet TV. You know how they do me, man.
Is she in our face, but we don't see her. So when the news came back and found her in that spot, I'm trying to tell me if my eyes are deceiving me or not, because I can see her there. And I looked at that spot twice.
So you were in the exact spot they found her?
I was in the exact spot, yes.
No, I believe it, because I also spoke about this because I was on live, a lot of them live, y'all, where the community was out there searching for Kada. This is one of the women that I basically was speaking on, where I said that they said that Kada was not there and that she had to be put there overnight. That is the reason for me making that video, asking y'all, do y'all believe that if Kada was put there overnight? Because the community had already spoke out on this. They were searching. They were in them woods. I believe this lady. Now, if y'all watch this whole video through, let me know y'all thoughts. Justice for Kada Scott.
So do y'all believe Kada Scott's body was moved at any point, or do y'all think she was there the whole time? Can y'all tell me in the chat, do you feel like her body, do you think her body was moved, or do you feel like this was something that just, you know, hey, she's been there and he just, but see, my thing is why I do believe it was moved is because he kept going back. Now, if you already buried the body, there's no reason for you to go back. There would just be, I mean, I've never unalived nobody, but I can only put myself in the mind frame of someone trying to get away with something. I'm never going to revisit that damn crime scene. What shit, once you think you got away with it, what the fuck are you going back for unless you're going back to put something there? You know what I'm saying? I don't know. The only thing I could think if you're going back to the place where you had her at is if you took her body and didn't know what to do with it, then you just went back like, fuck, I just need to go bury this body and went back to bury it. I don't think that she was there in the initial search. I think somebody came and moved that body. I think it was in one spot and they figured this needs to be in another. We need to go figure out something else, man. And I think they moved it from one point A to point B, and point B was back to the spot where they already searched. I don't know, man. I don't know. This is all weird.
Female remains that were found in a shallow grave on the grounds of an abandoned school, and they are believed to be 23-year-old Kada Scott, the Philadelphia woman who has been missing for a couple of days.
Based on a tip that came in late last night through the night, investigators began the process of following up on that tip this morning, starting around 10 o'clock this morning, following up on that tip. And the tip was very specific that led us back to this location here today.
When I heard she had been found, I thought she was found alive, only to find out that it was her remains that had been found. Jeez. But here's the thing, guys. The police had been in that area for almost a week, and from what I recall, she wasn't hidden well, which means they wouldn't have missed her if she was there when they did their initial search. You know what this means? Somebody probably had to move that body there and tipped the police. Also, apparently the brother was suspiciously coming out of the nursing home when people were trying to get out. Like, why was her brother coming out of the nursing home while people were trying to go in? Allegedly, the brother also pulled out his bang bang on them, telling them to get back. And then there's a Gabby that people are also giving the side eye, because she seems to be saying a lot, but also saying nothing at the same time. Honestly, this whole story isn't making any sense, and all these people sporadically calling with tips is hella suspicious. But let's break down everything to the T. Okay, the thing is, Kada was last seen by her mother on October 4th when
But that's my thing too about the tips. Why are the police not keying in on those tips? Someone pointed you right to that body. There's no fucking way you can point somebody to that body without knowing that there's a body there.
He was leaving for work at a nearby nursing home. But on that evening, Kada arrived at work, but left prior to her shift's completion. The next day, when she didn't show up, she was reported missing. And the family told police that in the days leading up to her disappearance, she had told them and her friends that someone had been harassing her via phone. Apparently, she was in communication with an individual called Keon King, and that she appeared to meet with him very shortly after she left work on October 4th. After the report, the police actually asked the public's help in locating King's vehicle, a 1999 metallic gold Toyota Camry with a Pennsylvania license plate of MSX0797, which they believe Kada Scott may have been in, and later that day, police confirmed that King's vehicle was found in an apartment lot. They received 2 tips. The first led them to an elementary school where they said they recovered evidence of value, and the second that led them to the vehicle connected to Kada's disappearance. Of course, when the case was reported, people started asking questions, because there were things that just didn't make sense. For starters, some of Kada's social media stuff disappeared, and they were not removed by the police because they would obviously want to keep it open to monitor for any activity. The other thing that people found out is that she left her car behind, but took her phone, which was strange. And by the way, she never went into details about the nature of the harassment to her family or reporting it, unless, of course, that information is being withheld. Now, while searching the school earlier, the police located items believed to belong to Kada, including a cell phone case, an iPad case, glasses, and a card bearing her name. Then, days later, they reportedly got a tip telling them where to search. The police actually released a statement saying, while conducting a search of the property, investigators discovered a shallow grave and recovered...
Man. Let's continue on to part 2. Y'all tell us in the chat, what are y'all thinking about this so far? Get vocal in that chat, man. Y'all talk amongst yourselves.
but also saying nothing at the same time. Honestly, this whole story isn't making any sense, and all these people sporadically calling with tips is hella suspicious. But let's break down everything to the T. Okay, the thing is, Kada was last seen by her mother on October 4th when she was leaving for work at a nearby nursing home. But on that evening, Kada arrived at work, but left prior to her shift's completion. The next day, when she didn't show up, she was reported missing. And the family told police that in the days leading up to her disappearance, she had told them and her friends that someone had been harassing her via phone. Apparently, she was in communication with an individual called Keon King, and that she appeared to meet with him very shortly after she left work on October 4th. After the report, the police actually asked the public's help in locating King's vehicle, a 1999 metallic gold Toyota Camry with a Pennsylvania license plate of MSX0797, which they believe Kada Scott may have been in, and later that day, police confirmed that King's vehicle was found in an apartment lot. They received 2 tips. The first led them to an elementary school where they said they recovered evidence of value, and the second that led them to the vehicle connected connected to Kada's disappearance. Of course, when the case was reported, people started asking questions, because there were things that just didn't make sense. For starters, some of Kada's social media stuff disappeared, and they were not removed by the police because they would obviously want to keep it open to monitor for any activity.
So who the hell had access to her social media? Who had access to her social media, y'all? Maybe he took her phone, or I don't know.
The other thing that people found out is that she left her car behind but took her phone, which was strange. And by the way, she never went into details about the nature of the harassment to her family or reporting it, unless, of course, that information is being withheld. Now, while searching the school earlier, the police located items believed to belong to Kada, including a cell phone case, an iPad case, glasses, and a card bearing her name. Then, days later, they reportedly got a tip telling them where to search. The police actually released a statement saying, while conducting a search of the property, investigators discovered a shallow grave and recovered human remains believed to be those of Kada Scott. This is a heartbreaking development, and our thoughts are with Kada's family and loved ones during this extremely difficult time. The Philadelphia Police Department remains committed to uncovering the truth and ensuring that justice is served. Apparently, the remains were found in a heavily wooded area after police received a very specific anonymous tip overnight, and officers began the search, and they found the remains located in a deeply wooded area behind Ada H. Lewis Middle School, an abandoned school near Aubrey Arboretum in Germantown. Wait, so you want to tell me the police had been out there searching that exact area for almost a week? A whole week? Yet when they finally find her, they were saying she wasn't even hidden that well. Now tell me how that works. Are we really supposed to believe trained officers combed through that spot over and over and somehow missed a body right there in plain sight? Or, and hear me out, did somebody move her there later and then conveniently tip off the police once it was safe to find her? I mean, it's really looking like the body was moved, but for now we don't know by who. Obviously, the first suspect would be King, but we have people suspecting that...
Yeah, see, that's what I'm saying. The police said they combed through that area repeatedly for a week and just missed it. How can you miss a body right there?
One officially knew. Honey, if you ask a lot of people, they will tell you they suspect Gabby knows more than she's saying. Did she know something ahead of time? Is she protecting someone? Or just trying to clean up her image now that people are connecting the dots? Then there's the brother situation, which makes everything even more sus. Why was he allegedly coming out of the nursing home just as people were trying to get in? And why did he reportedly pull out his bang bang on folks? Like, if you're grieving and trying to help, why escalate things like that? What was going on in there that made him act like he was protecting something? And don't even get me started on the random tips that suddenly started rolling in out of nowhere. First it's one call, then another, and somehow each one leads the police closer, but also further from any solid answers. Who are these people calling in, and why now? What I'm wondering is whether Kada actually knew Keon King, because some folks think she might have left with him willingly, at least at first. Maybe she didn't realize the danger, maybe she trusted him, or maybe they had some kind of prior connection nobody's talking about yet, because the way things unfolded feels too smooth for a total stranger situation. Some people are even starting to wonder if this might have been a love thing gone wrong. Anywho, the other thing that people found out is that King is also facing charges in what officials call a similar case from earlier this year, in which a woman was allegedly kidnapped and strangled, but she survived. Those charges were dropped when the accuser failed to appear in court, but will now be refiled because we may be looking at a pattern here. Based on reports, in the first case, the prosecutor said King kidnapped a woman from in front of her car, threw her in her car, roughed her up, and eventually let her out. Yikes. So, in that first case, they said King literally snatched a woman right in front of her own house, threw her into her own car, roughed her up, and then just let her go. Baby, we have to ask, how many times does someone get away with something that terrible before it escalates into something worse? How did this man get the chance to do it again? Seriously, how many warning signs were missed? Why was a man with a near identical case allowed to walk free? And if the system failed to protect one woman before, how many others are out there who were silenced or too scared to come forward? At the end of the day, I'm just wondering whether Kada's tragedy was preventable, or are we only now seeing the full scope of something that's been happening in the shadows all along? And most importantly, who else was involved? We still don't have all the answers, but I'd sure love to know your thoughts on this case. So,
I'm telling you, there's more people involved in this shit. There is. There's going to be more arrests made soon.
Her dog, she had her headphones in. Kada, she always, just walking around the neighborhood.
And it says, when I saw it, automatically said, why is she showing the world Kada's house and whereabouts? I wonder if this is the friend who called in the tip where to find Kada Scott's body. And it says, sounds like they was all stalking her. Let's listen to this again.
Her dog, she had her headphones in. Kada, she always, just walking around the neighborhood with her dog and stuff. So I'm just going to show you guys the area and, where he knows of the block. So this is If you go down this block, this is Kada Scott's block more so, but this block right here is the block that he will always come on to sell me and my friend drugs. My friend lives down there. Kada lives down here. So honestly, I think I'm just gonna go down Kada's block. But Kada, her house is actually on this side, guys. But yeah, her house is on this side. Maybe this. No, I don't know, guys. I know Kada lives on this block though. She lives behind my best friend's house. My best friend grew up with her little sister. Her little sister name is. Now I'm just gonna be showing y'all the area where he is like always at, and where he most likely first seen Kada, because you know that's where I always seen her. The more you walk up this area along the strip, this is where she would walk. This is the way you have to take to go to the coffee store. This is the gas station that all of the drug dealers come to. They all come here. They all be outside the store. If you drive past, you'll see. Like, they will be over here. This is a picture of her up here. She always will come here. Everybody will come here to buy the rafts, all that. It's the store. But the store you can find him sitting outside of is right over here.
Yeah, I ain't gonna lie. This whole situation is cringe. It's weird. It just gets weirder and weirder.
Critical, this building to play in the investigation that shows Keon King and a possible other person coming here in the hours after they pick up Kada Scott outside the Chestnut Hill Assisted Living Facility, and what it all means. So we know now that they arrive here, it would be Saturday into Sunday, October 4th and 5th. Kada Scott is picked up by Keon King. They are in a 2008 black Hyundai Accent. We learned that yesterday. That Hyundai Accent is seen on video arriving here at the middle school. And the police say at some point they notice movement, and the phone attached to the figure moving in the video is registered, is owned by Keon King. That phone is picked up, is traced coming to this property a few times. We are waiting for the filing of charges that the district attorney's office talked about 24 hours ago. They are actually still not filed yet. These charges of arson and conspiracy and a few other counts, because the car that I'm talking about, that Hyundai Accent, stolen on the 3rd, 4th it is used in transport of Kada Scott, and then on the 7th it is found on a city street on fire. That car is then reported, and the city comes out and removes the car, not believing it had anything to do with this. And the car is then extinguished, the fire extinguished, make that, and then it is compacted at a local junkyard. So I know people are asking questions about notes they found. They are not disclosing that information to us. This is the first I've heard about a note. I've never heard that before.
Man. So now there's a note. So now there's a note attached to this weird ass case. What the fuck is going on?
I can't sleep.
I don't need that one right now. I'll come back to that one.
Up, everybody. All right, you guys. So we have been working on a heartbreaking case of Kada Scott. So we know that sadly her remains were recovered over the weekend, but we now have more details that led up to this discovery. So police say that on October 3rd, there was a 2008 Hyundai Accent that was stolen. So this will be just one day before Kada Scott actually disappeared. On October 4th, we know Kada, she went to work. We know that at some point in time, Kada Scott ends up leaving work. Well, now police have come out to say that they have evidence showing Kada Scott being picked up in that 2008 black Hyundai Accent. Now, the person that picked Kada Scott up was Keon King. So late Saturday night, going into Sunday morning, which would have been October 4th, going into October 5th, that same black Hyundai Accent is seen going towards the abandoned middle school. And from what investigators are saying, before Keon destroyed his phones, so there were pings from his phones at these different locations, and that is what tied him to Kada's case. So the question that is on everybody's mind is, are there more people involved? So the reason being is because we know that specific tips came in right around the time that Kada's body was discovered. That abandoned school had been searched by police. It had been searched by family searchers. But nobody found Kada until that specific tip came in to go back to the abandoned school and search again. We know that ultimately police did find her in a shallow grave. Now, not only that, there is a girl by the name of Gabby who has come forward to say that she knows Keon. Now, not only does Gabby know Keon, she's saying that Keon actually asked her about Kada before Kada disappeared.
He calls me and he asks me if I know Kada. And I'm like, yeah, like, I know Kada. And he's like, oh, yeah, I noticed that she lives really close to you. I'm like, yeah, like, she lived right in the back of me. And I'm not thinking nothing of it because he usually calls me and, you know, we just be chatting. He'll call me about, like, you know, the people that be around because he is the pharmacist.
It sounds like you've helped him with multiple females. That's what I'm getting from this. It sounds like you the girl he calls when he wants to set up some plays with some females, and he might pay you in green because that's your pharmacist.
Live in the neighborhood and he be in my neighborhood. So we hung up the phone and that was that. We were only on the phone for 29 seconds.
Now, Gabby goes on to say that she really didn't think nothing of Keon asking her about Kada. It wouldn't be until not long after that, Kada actually goes missing. So Gabby says that she calls Keon. She says, hey, did you know that Kada was missing? So from what she's saying, Keon was like, what? And then the phone call abruptly ended, meaning he hung up. But y'all, the issue that everyone has is one of her friends actually called her and was like, look, I think you should tell police what you know about Keon.
Yeah, someone Sin said, he said, hold on, let me read that comment. I couldn't get it verbatim. What did you say, Sin? It says, where does that damn comment just go? You said, when he said, she lives really close to you, that was really suspicious. Yeah, why would someone just be like, hey man, that girl lives really close to you. Where does she live? Oh, right behind me. And I thought nothing of it. I would be like, what the fuck you mean? Like, you watching this girl? What the fuck wrong with you?
Kada. Now, Gabby is saying she felt like her information really wasn't a lot. She didn't think it would help the case. And she basically refused to talk to the police. So from what I'm gathering, the friend ended up contacting police and had police to contact Gabby. But a lot of people feel away because at first we had no idea who Kada was last with. And for you to know that he asked about Kada right before she disappeared, you should have told police that information. So we also know that Keon is being charged with a lot of charges, but none of those charges include unaliving Kada. And y'all, in my opinion, police are just waiting for more information to come out. They're probably waiting on the autopsy. Y'all, as all of this is slowly coming out, a girl ends up releasing a video of Keon stalking her. Now, a lot of people are saying maybe if Keon had been in jail on this charge, he would have never unalived Kada. Now, y'all, let me say this. I don't know if somebody else is involved in this case. But when those tips started to come in that ultimately led to them finding her body, who would have known that Kada was in that spot unless you were with Keon when he did this or he told you that he did this to her? They were looking for Kada for over a week. So, yeah, it is kind of suspicious that that tip did come out later on. Now, as of right now, that is the only update that I have. My heart breaks for Kada's family. Comment below and let me know your thoughts on this update and justice for Kada.
Yeah, I ain't gonna lie, man. The more I dig into this case, the weirder it gets. I just think it can't get any weirder, and then boom.
Last night on Monday, October 20th, 2025, over 100 people gathered outside of the abandoned Ada H. Lewis Middle School in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, to honor and remember 23-year-old Kada Scott. Remember, her body was found in the wooded area behind this abandoned school in a shallow grave. The vigil took place just hours after the district attorney announced that more charges were going to be filed against Keon King, including arson, conspiracy, unauthorized use of an automotive vehicle, stealing property, reckless endangering of another person, and tampering with evidence. Now, after listening to the DA speak yesterday, after looking at Keon King's additional charges, and after reading in between the lines,
somebody said, did you notice when Gabby showed her call log, it's her calling him, not him calling her? That's facts. Gabby ain't telling the whole truth. I'm sorry, man. Gabby is full of shit. Gabby ain't telling the truth.
I personally feel like we are going to see another person arrested here and more charges brought about in connection to this case. So yesterday, the district attorney announced that there was going to be more charges brought toward Keon King and another arrest was going to be coming.
The bottom line is a second case has already been approved, and we expect there to be a new arrest today.
Now, at first, I was like, another arrest is coming, so someone else is involved. But then they never really expanded upon that, so I thought, okay, maybe they're just referencing more charges against Keon King, another case being opened up against him. But then I was looking at his charges this morning a little bit more in depth, and I noticed conspiracy. Now, a conspiracy charge, according to what it says online, requires proof that at least 2 people reached an agreement or formed a plan to unalive someone. The agreement doesn't have to be formal, written, or even explicitly stated. It can be implied by the conduct of the parties. So that conspiracy charge that was added on to Keon King's charges yesterday implies that someone else had something to do with Kada Scott's abduction and death. Now, I was just listening to Joe Holden, a news anchor, speaking about this case. He was actually on the property of the Ada Lewis Middle School, and he said that video surveillance captures Keon coming and going from this property where Kada's body was ultimately found. They have video footage of him moving Kada's body to this property, and they also have footage of him with another possible suspect. Listen to this.
They have obtained video that shows Keon King and a possible other person coming here in the hours after they pick up Kada Scott.
So putting all of these things together, this is just screaming that another person was involved in all of this. Now, we did find out that law enforcement is under the impression that Kada had been unalive within 30 minutes of her being taken from her job. So everything is pointing to premeditation and conspiracy amongst 2 people. So we need to keep advocating and we need to keep fighting for Kada's case to remain active, for this investigation to remain ongoing, so that all parties involved in her disappearance and death are held accountable to the fullest extent. What do you guys think about all of this? Let me know your thoughts in the comments, and make sure you're following me. As soon as we hear any new information about this case, I will be sure to share with you guys.
Yeah, man. So let me do something real quick before I get to the next video. Let me do this real quick. Hold on 1 second, y'all. Let me do this. Let me go over here. I need to figure something out. Okay, I'm covering the Kada Scott case. Now, I noticed that Keon King has a conspiracy charge in this case, and from my understanding, I believe that means multiple people are involved. Now, break this down for me and let me know why he has a conspiracy charge.
Absolutely, Greg. Let's break it down. So a conspiracy charge basically means that the authorities believe multiple people agreed to commit a crime together. In other words, it's not just that Keon King is allegedly involved, but that there's an agreement or a plan between him and at least one other person. In a legal sense, conspiracy is like a team agreement to do something unlawful. So for Keon King, the charge suggests that the prosecution thinks he and others were in on a plan together. They don't necessarily have to have completed the crime they were planning. Just agreeing and taking some steps toward it can be enough for a conspiracy charge. So in short, it's about that group element, the idea that there's a coordinated effort with others. Let me know if you need any more details on it.
Now, do you think it might have been just one person or more than just one person? And by that, I mean Keon and one person, or Keon and more than one person?
Yeah, I get what you're asking. So in a conspiracy charge, it can honestly go either way. It could be just Keon and one other person involved in the plan, or it could be Keon and a whole group of people. Basically, as long as there's more than one person involved in that agreement to commit the crime, it counts as a conspiracy. In a lot of cases, prosecutors will charge conspiracy because it lets them rope in multiple defendants who were supposedly working together. So it's totally possible it's just Keon and one other person, or it could be a larger circle. It really depends on what evidence they have and how many people they think were in on it.
Got it. Okay. So I told y'all, I'm telling y'all, it's going to be two more, at least two more arrests made, possibly 3. Now, mark my words, y'all going to come back and be like, Ratchet, you was right. It's going to be at least 2. I do believe 2 more people at least get arrested.
We are saddened, God, to gather on this occasion where a precious soul was taken from us without warning.
Kada Scott! Kada Scott!
This is Kada's aunt. She's the one representative from the family who's willing to come out today.
you know, the family deserves the opportunity to rest. So I want to be very kind to Ms. Donna, and I want to invite Ms. Donna up here to give a few words.
On behalf of the family, I just want to thank each and every one of you for your prayers, for being a community, for holding us up, for holding us down, for your continuously searching and not giving up. Thank you, thank you, thank you just for being who we just didn't know how to be at the time. Thank you for being consistent. Thank you for not giving up. And even though this is the worst thing that we could have possibly hoped for, we were able to get our baby back.
That family shouldn't have to cook. They shouldn't have to do anything at this time. There's enough organizations out here to be able to support everything they need as they go through this tragedy. Please, I implore you to do that. All that other stuff we can work on later. We're talking about tearing down the school and all that stuff. Right now, the important thing that we can do is love on this family.
This is a human problem that all of us feel. Every single person here that is out here, I guarantee you, beyond some job that we have to fulfill to come out and be present as elected officials, this touches home. The idea that young black girls cannot be safe, even at their own workplace, in their own city, in their own town, is unacceptable.
And our job is to make sure that we keep our babies safe. And so to the family of Kada, to all who loved her, who were all impacted by her grace, by her beauty, by her love, we stand with you and know that her legacy will not be in vain.
R.I.P. to Kada Scott. And that family is in need right now, man. I need to get in touch with the family.
And doing up. So let's talk about what we know critical this building to play in the investigation that shows Keon King and a possible other person coming here in the hours after they pick up Kada Scott outside the Chestnut Hill Assisted Living Facility and what it all means. So we know now that they arrive here, it would be Saturday into Sunday, October 4th and 5th. Kada Scott is picked up by Keon King. They are in a 2008 black Hyundai Accent. We learned that yesterday. That Hyundai Accent is seen on video arriving here at the middle school. And police say at some point they notice movement and the phone attached to the figure moving in the video is registered, is owned by Keon King. That phone is picked up, is traced coming to this property a few times. We are waiting for the filing of charges that the district attorney's office talked about 24 hours ago. They are actually still not filed yet. These charges of arson and conspiracy and a few other counts, because the car that I'm talking about, that Hyundai Accent, stolen on the 3rd, 4th it is used in transport of Kada Scott, and then on the 7th it is found on a city street on fire. That car is then reported, and the city comes out and removes the car, not believing it had anything to do with this. And the car is then extinguished, the fire extinguished make that, and then it is compacted at a local junkyard. So I know people are asking questions about notes they found. They are not disclosing that information to us. This is the first I've heard about a note. I've never heard that before. We also have some folks reaching out to us about screams and voices inside the middle school. If you look at prosecutors' timeline here, with sources telling us that Kada Scott was dead 20 minutes after she's picked up on October 4th, for there to be screams or voices coming from the middle school within the last 48 hours or Friday, Saturday, according to investigators, it's just not possible. The rate of decomposition and...
So then, I don't know. Okay, so what the fuck was the screams? Because I'm gonna be real, y'all. The people saying the spirit was... I'm not... Y'all know how I am about something. Now, I'm not buying that. A spirit screaming. I'm not believing that. But what in the either somebody was out there running a play for content, or I don't know. I don't fucking know, man. I don't know. What are y'all thoughts on that, man? Why was there screams coming from that middle school? I'm sorry, y'all. Me personally, you can believe what you want. I'm not telling nobody what to believe. I'm not believing that a scream came from a spirit. I don't believe that. What do y'all think? What was that scream that y'all heard? Said not if it happened 30 minutes. No. The scream came like not even too long ago. This was like last week. You know what I'm saying? So they saying she died 20 minutes after leaving her work. This scream came like days ago. Like a week ago, maybe. They say it's very possible. What do y'all think the scream was? I heard it. Someone says, I heard it. It says, don't talk to demons. They said, no way. They said, yeah, I'm not believing it. It says, hell, what a time. They said, what time did the scream happen? The scream happened, this was a couple days ago. Like, look, it was, I want to say over the weekend. If I'm not mistaken, it happened like over the weekend or something.
Other things that they are now using to determine timelines for extremely important circumstances of the case do not make possible voices and things like that. So we've talked about the rec center right here. Here's the school right here. And back over there is where she was located on Saturday afternoon after really a feverish search that spanned a few days, almost 2 weeks.
Hold on, somebody said, my thought was, why can't I read these damn comments? It says, my first thought was she was in on it, and they all did that to throw people off while someone was digging that hole. Ooh. Now, I'm going to be real. I don't know who's involved, but I just know a lot of shit is suspicious. So, yeah, I have heard that before. And I did tell the lady that these people said this, but certain people were saying that the people who were looking for her could have been involved. Being, I think someone said, I think Bree even said it out of her mouth on my live that people were saying she was involved in it. I don't know. I don't know who was involved in what. I'm not saying she was. I'm not saying she wasn't. All I know is that this case is just sinister.
People are asking about DNA still being viable. Sure. Handles of the car, absolutely. But they're telling us that they've attempted and it's not possible. So maybes and could be's, and perhaps at this rate, at least from our interviews with the district attorney's office, that is not possible. I see a question about a tip given with him in jail. Was there someone else involved? Well, remember, he's not in jail yet. Back on October 4th and 5th, 6th and 7th. He's not in jail because guess what? Police don't go public with this case until October 8th. So we're really playing like sort of rewind mode, thinking in your mind about the events that happened before all of this spilled into public view. So that is why they are considering the actions of a potential conspirator, a co-conspirator, which is why there is a conspiracy charge filed yesterday. Read between the lines. There is a lot of critical information that when you are charging conspiracy, clearly you are expanding the circle of potential involvement beyond just a particular person. So,
yeah, I don't know what the fuck is going on, y'all. I just don't believe. This is just me, man. I'm not telling nobody what to believe or what not to believe. I'm not saying I know everything. I just don't believe a spirit was screaming. That's just me. I don't believe it. What do y'all think? Do y'all believe? Does anybody in here believe a spirit was screaming? If you do believe a spirit was screaming, drop the gems. If you think that that's bullshit, drop a cap. Let me know. Drop the caps if you think it's complete bullshit about a spirit screaming. Drop the gems if you believe it. Hey, to each their own. We're not judging nobody.
The big story on Action News is the update into the investigation into Kada Scott's disappearance and death. Authorities say tips from the public helped lead them to Kada's body, as well as a torched car connected to the case. Kada went missing October 4th while working an overnight shift.
Action News reporter Chad Verdelli standing by right now with more on the suspect's criminal past. But we're going to begin with reporter Taronda Thomas live at the site of the vigil for Kada right now with an investigative update today, Taronda.
Yes, Brian and Sarah, this is the abandoned school where Kada Scott's body was found, and now it's going to be the site of a vigil that's being organized right now. I want to give you a look at a place where people have been leaving flowers and balloons in memory of Kada. The site is also key because investigators say they have video evidence from nearby. They're using it to build a case against the suspect who was originally facing kidnapping charges and is now facing a lot more.
Our hearts are broken beyond measure.
The family of Kada Scott devastated by the latest developments in her disappearance and death.
It has been confirmed that these are the human remains of Kada Scott.
Now comes the work to bring her killer to justice. Today, the Philadelphia District Attorney announced new charges against the prime suspect, 21-year-old Keon King. Those charges include tampering with evidence and arson. Investigators have connected King to a black Hyundai that was stolen the day before Kada Scott went missing and found on fire a few days later.
We recovered additional evidence, including video evidence that confirms that this vehicle, we believe, is the vehicle that Mr. Keon King used to move Ms. Scott.
The suspect's cell phone data also connects him to sites linked to that black Hyundai. King is also facing conspiracy charges. Investigators looking into whether someone else was involved driving a gold Toyota police recovered last week.
We believe the people in these vehicles are working together.
The district attorney's office anticipates filing homicide charges once the autopsy is complete. A tip led to the discovery of Kada Scott's body on Saturday when police searched the grounds of the vacant Ada Lewis Middle School a second time.
They did give more specific details in terms of where to look, and ultimately that is what led us to her.
Just as the community came together to search, they're asked to come together to support. City Council member Anthony Phillips collecting donations for Scott's family.
Kada Scott mattered. Her life matters.
Scott's family, speaking through a statement, encourages the community now to focus not on her death, but on her life.
Please honor Kada's memory by showing kindness and care to one another, just as she did every day of her life.
You're taking a look at the podium that's being set up for this vigil that's going to be held in Kada's honor. We do know that community members, local and state dignitaries will be here because, you know, this story has gotten local and national attention. So many people caring and praying for Kada Scott, now seeing this end be so tragic. Now, the district attorney's office will not say how Kada Scott and the suspect knew each other, just that there was likely some sort of cell phone communication. The district attorney's office is also still taking tips in this case. They're asking for the community's help for those wanting to donate to the Scott family. They're collecting donations that include things like gift cards, personal care items, and non-perishable food. Those can be dropped off at the office of Councilmember Anthony Phillips on Wadsworth Avenue. We are live in East Mount Airy. Taronda Thomas, Channel 6 Action News.
Okay, Taronda, thank you. Let's switch live now to Action News reporter Chad Perdelli with more on a previous case against King that was abruptly dropped earlier this year, and new questions around that today, Chad.
Yeah, Brian, as you know, there have long been critics of District Attorney Larry Krasner, and some of those critics are getting much louder, and it's because of his office's handling of a prior case involving Keon King. Hanging from an overpass on the Vine Street Expressway is a sign that reads, Kada's blood is on Krasner's hands. District Attorney Larry Krasner and his office have come under fire for withdrawing charges against Keon King related to a separate domestic violence and kidnapping case earlier this year. It happened on the 1900 block of North 23rd Street. King allegedly attempted to break into the home of a woman, appeared to be holding a gun, and repeatedly peered through windows. After several failed attempts to enter the residence, court records say that when the complainant left her house with a friend, King jumped out of his car, yanked her by her hair, threw into his car, and threatened he'd kill the friend if she intervened. He then alleged...
Y'all hear that shit? This is the person they let get away with it. Listen to this again.
When the complainant left her house with a friend, King jumped out of his car, yanked her by her hair, threw into his car, and threatened he'd kill the friend if she intervened. He then allegedly assaulted the victim in the car as he drove through Philadelphia, before eventually dropping her off in Fishtown. The case was eventually withdrawn by the DA's office after the alleged victim and witness failed to show up for court. Krasner again admitted mistakes during a press conference today.
The buck stops here. That is on me, that it was not handled in that fashion.
Last week, the DA appeared critical of the judge in the case, saying bail was set too low at $200,000, 10% of which King paid to get out on bond, and claimed his office didn't petition for a higher bail as to not anger, quote, judges on call overnight. A spokesperson for the courts, Marty O'Rourke, put out a statement last week saying in part, The DA's comments are appallingly disrespectful and a sad attempt on his part to find a scapegoat for his own failings on this matter.
As we have indicated before, I do believe that there is a way this could have been presented without those witnesses.
And one way the DA admits and critics acknowledge, it's tough to try cases when a complainant or witnesses do not come forward. But in that prior case, there was significant video evidence of much of the alleged crime.
That's crazy work, y'all. That is crazy work that they let him get away with this. How the fuck did he walk free? How did he walk free, gang?
Kada and my friend live on the same block. So that's how he probably started witnessing her or seeing her. And he began to ask my best friend questions about her. But I ended up finding out before he, did what he did to Kada, he actually called my best friend and he asked her, where was Kada located? Where's her house? What do you know about her? Is she a cool girl? Does she have a boyfriend? He asked her all types of stuff like that about Kada before he kidnapped her. And then once it was discovered that he did, he called my best friend and told her, don't tell anybody about what he asked.
And I think that she stayed loyal to that man or that punk ass boy. She stayed loyal to him and didn't say nothing. Crazy work, Gabby.
So people are saying that I felt as though I couldn't go to the authorities about the situation because they had already locked him up. Now, I did eventually go to the authorities about the information, and they told me that the information that I bought them was useless, that they couldn't use the information because it wouldn't help to lead finding Kada. And also because he was already in police custody, so there was nothing that they could do with my information. They also told me that days before, my friend did come in with the information, and they told her the exact same thing, that they cannot do anything with the information due to the fact that he is already in police custody, and that this information would not lead to finding Kada.
Man, I don't believe nothing Gabby says out of her lying ass mouth. I'm sorry. Gabby is full of shit.
Every time the girl was walking, except before she had her dog, she had her headphones in. Kada, she always, just walking around the neighborhood with her dog and stuff. So I'm just going to show you guys the area and, where he knows of the block. So this is, if you go down this block, this is Kada Scott's block more so, but this block right here is the block that he will always come on to sell me and my friend rugs. My friend lives down there, Kada lives down here. So honestly, I think I'm just gonna go down Kada's block, but Kada, her house is actually on this side, guys. But yeah, her house is on this side. Maybe this, no, I don't know. I know Kada lives on this block though. She lives behind my best friend's house. My best friend grew up with her little sister. Her little sister name is. Now I'm just gonna be showing y'all the area where he is always at and where he most likely first seen Kada, because that's where I always seen her. She used to walk her dog a lot around here. She has a little dog, so she would walk her dog.
What do you guys think about D? What do you think about D, Gabby's ex-best friend?
Okay. And then once you go to the stop sign, go that way. As you guys can see, the Liberty is right there. That's not where she would go. So I don't want anyone to be confused or screw things up. She did not go there. Go this way. Once you go this way, you walk straight down. Once you walk straight down, you'll get up near the gas stations and stuff. And the gas stations is usually where all of the drug dealers will be located. When I get up there, I'm gonna show you specifically. But yeah, that's most likely where she was going. So the more you walk up this area along the strip, this is where she would walk. This is the way you have to take to go to the Papa store. This is the gas station that all of the drug dealers come to. They all come here. They all be outside the store. If you drive past, you'll see they will be over here. This is a picture of her up here. She always will come here. Everybody will come here to buy their wraps, all that. It's the store.
I ain't
Like
gonna,
the store you can find him sitting outside of.
I'm gonna be
It's
real,
right
y'all.
here.
It sounds like not only was Gabby, not only was Keon stalking her, but it sounds like you and Gabby were too. It sounded like this was a group effort of people just stalking this poor girl. 35 months. Thank you for being a member for 35 months, Red Velvet RG4L. Throw the flowers up for Red Velvet. It sounded like y'all was obsessed with this girl, man. I don't know. Y'all is kind of cringe.
I think that Keon King likely strangled Kada Scott, and here's why. I'm a forensic scientist and former CSI, and if you missed it, police in Philadelphia found the remains of 23-year-old missing woman Kada Scott earlier this week, and Keon King is in custody in connection with her disappearance. Specifically, right now, he's being charged with kidnapping in her case. Police have not spoken on a cause and manner of death.
Thank you, Red Velvet, for the $5.
In Kada's case. It's still under investigation. A lot of the reason that there is probably not a disclosed cause and manner of death right now has to do with her decompositional state. So Kada was missing for a little over 2 weeks, and she was found outside in a shallow grave. So in that 2 weeks time, presumably she was outside for the entire time. And of course, when you're outside exposed to the elements, you are going to decompose. Now, it's not quite as hot as it has been. You know, we're getting into October, but it's still quite warm. So being outside, being exposed to the element, being out in the heat is really going to cause decomp to take hold quite quickly, and that's going to potentially make it difficult to look for the things that we would expect to see in strangulation, like petechia in the eye, damage to the strap muscles, redness or bruising on the skin. There could be damage to the hyoid bone, but that doesn't always happen. The reason that I think Keon...
Thank you, Lady Nah, for the $20. I appreciate you, Lady Nah.
King likely strangled her is that he has been charged in the past with kidnapping and strangling another woman. And what we know about people who inflict non-fatal strangulations on somebody, as Keon allegedly did to his last victim, is that they do tend to go on and strangle other people, and oftentimes they kill those people. In fact, non-fatal strangulation is the #1 predictor of homicidal behavior. So the fact that he has a history of non-fatal strangulation with a different victim suggests that he is very likely capable and willing to fatally strangle another person. We don't know much about the last case that he was involved in. However, you can tell from these screen grabs where he has just previously jumped over this fence. He's looking into this woman's windows in her house, that he grabs her and throws her in the car, strangles her and lets her go. He is a very violent person, a scary person. He has this obsessive behavior with women, and Kada suggested to her family and reported to them prior to her disappearance that she had been the victim of harassment. Now, it's not clear who was harassing her, but I think we can make some guesses at this point. I suspect we'll be hearing more about strangulation in this case right now. That's what I think. What do you think?
I don't think he was harassing her, though. That's the thing. If she was saying that I'm being harassed and she's telling family and friends, she wouldn't contact him and say, hey, kidnap me again tonight. And then make plans to meet up with a dude that is literally stalking her. I mean, he was stalking her, but I don't think she knew it. I think that she just thought that they were about to hook up. And this is my guess. She had a boyfriend, but it sounds like she was going to hook up with Keon that night. Sounds like they were going to go do them. She was going to cheat on her boyfriend. They were going to go smoke. They were going to chill, going to go grab something to eat. And he just had other plans. I think he was pissed off about her boyfriend. That's my opinion. I could be wrong, though. I think he was mad as hell about that boyfriend.
Kada Scott! Kada Scott!
Kada Scott's disappearance bringing the community together in the name of justice.
You know, it's just so much pain. And, you know, she didn't deserve that. And,
Can everybody in this room double tap their screen and get these likes up? We need to get to 1,000 likes. Double tap your screen. Let's go.
It's just feel like I lost a loved one in my family.
This after news that her body was found behind Ada Lewis Middle School over the weekend. She was last seen alive 2 weeks ago in Chestnut Hill. Today, Philadelphia DA Larry Krasner announcing Keon King, the man charged with her kidnapping, will face additional charges. The DA explaining both King and Scott communicated with each other before her disappearance.
Obviously, they knew each other to some extent. We believe in terms of maybe there was some cell phone communication.
A tip led them to a 2008 Hyundai Ascent believed to be the vehicle used to move Scott's body. And they say the Hyundai was stolen October 3rd in East Mount Airy, a day before Kada was reported missing. It was then set on fire 4 days later, found on 74th Avenue, where broken glass and charred remains are still there. her. Investigators say video evidence showed the 2008 Hyundai as well as a 1999 Toyota Camry found in an apartment complex last week in East Falls at the scene where Kada's body was found. King's cell phone data connecting him to those locations.
Keon King's mobile device puts him at all of the locations that we're talking about. It's on scene when the Hyundai Accent is there at the recreation center. It is on scene when the vehicle is burned.
Scott's family sharing a letter to the public read by the DA's office of their pain and their gratitude for everyone involved in finding Kada.
Please continue to keep us in prayer as we navigate this unimaginable loss. Our hearts are broken beyond measure. We are profoundly thankful to every person who shared Kada's story, joined the search efforts, prayed with us, and stood by our family during this devastating time.
Man. R.I.P. to Kada Scott. Let's continue the gems, gang. Let's continue.
It is with profound sadness that we share the tragic passing of our beloved daughter, Kada Scott. We kindly ask for space and privacy at this time as we process the heartbreaking events of the past few weeks. Our hearts are shattered, yet we are deeply grateful for the outpouring of love, support, and prayers from people across the nation and around the world. Please continue to keep us in prayer as we navigate this unimaginable loss. Our hearts are broken beyond measure. We are profoundly thankful to every person who shared Kada's story, joined the search efforts, prayed with us, and stood by our family during this devastating time. Your compassion, love, and strength have carried us when we could not carry ourselves. Kada was deeply loved. Her light, kindness, and beautiful spirit will forever remain in our hearts.
We will be announcing that there are new charges being brought against Keon King. We'll get into the details, but the bottom line is a second case has already been approved, and we expect there to be a new arrest today, in all likelihood, of Keon King when he is brought in from the jail. The arrest will be for burning of a car, arson, causing catastrophe, conspiracy, several other charges.
Yeah, this. I don't know, man. I don't think anybody can understand what the fuck we're witnessing. I don't know.
On the night of October 4th, 2025, 23-year-old Kada Scott left home for her overnight shift in Chestnut Hill. Her shift hours was from 10 p.m. to 6 a.m. She was doing her everyday routine, something she'd done countless times before. She texted her friends. Everything seemed normal, but sometime during that shift, she disappeared and never made it back home. By the next morning, her phone was dead. Her car was still in the lot, and nobody had heard from her. Investigators would later uncover chilling evidence that Kada had gotten into a 1999 gold Toyota Camry shortly after leaving work early. The car was owned by a man she'd unknowingly been in contact with. The same guy investigators say she spoke to just moments before she vanished. Kada's family knew something was wrong. They said in the weeks before she went missing, she'd mentioned being harassed with random calls, weird messages, and that constant feeling like somebody was following her. She never said who it was, but she told people she didn't feel safe. The moment her family realized she hadn't come home and wasn't answering anyone, they knew something was wrong, and they reported her missing immediately. Flyers went up, TikTok started circulating, and thousands of people across the city started asking one question: where's Kada Scott? Search teams covered everything, from Aubrey Arboretum to the abandoned Lewis Middle School. Police went through the property early on, but found nothing. That didn't stop the community. People searched day and night through thick bushes, old buildings, and dark alleys. Some said they heard screams near the school before she disappeared. Others claimed they found personal items in the area: a phone case, lip gloss, small pieces that felt like signs. But no matter how far they looked, there was no trace of Kada. That's when everything took a wild turn. When police got access to Kada's phone records, everything started to line up. They discovered she'd been in contact with a man from her neighborhood, someone she barely knew. He wasn't a coworker. He wasn't a friend. So how and why was... If you want to watch this full...
Man, this is creepy. I ain't gonna lie, this is one creepy ass story, right?
21-year-old Keon King. Detectives noticed his number appeared shortly before her phone went dark, and GPS data placed his device near her last known location. That was enough to put him on their radar. As you can see, he's posing in front of the same 1999 Toyota Camry connected to Kada's abduction. After the incident, that same car was later listed for sale on Facebook Marketplace.
So, ladies, y'all falling for rug dealers who drive hoopties now? I ain't talking about Kate. I'm just talking about in general. It seemed like he had a lot of girls in the area and stuff and all this stuff going on with him. First of all, he was not a looker. You know, that dude looked like something off The Predator or some shit. And then he driving a hoopty. Like that broke down piece of shit ass car. What girl jumping in that damn car? Thank you, Lametris Chapman, for being a member for a year now. Salute to Lametris, y'all. Drop the flowers for Lametris. Yeah,
Sure.
drop that 1999. You know how old that damn car older than you, boy. 1990, 26-year-old ass car.
That he had tried.
Shout out to everybody with the 1999s. My bad. Like somebody like, oh, I got a 1999 fucking Malibu right now, nigga. What you mean, Ratchet? Like,
Had to get rid of it. From there, investigators pulled surveillance footage from around Chestnut Hill and nearby neighborhoods. Cameras showed his vehicle circling the area around the time Kada disappeared. And then again, hours later, near the abandoned middle school. It was the same school where her remains was later found. Once his name hit social media, everything exploded. People recognized him immediately. He was a local upcoming rapper from Philadelphia.
I ain't never fraud. I'm SS. I'm getting back. I'm busting traps. I'm in the county too. I got a bounty, but I ain't scared, nigga. I'm about that bread, nigga.
And also was the immediately.
so this dude is a rapper, guys. Let's listen to his lyrics once again.
He was a local upcoming rapper from Philadelphia.
I ain't never fraud. I'm SS. I'm getting back. I'm busting traps. I'm in the county too. I got a bounty, but I ain't scared, nigga. I'm about that bread, nigga.
And also was the guy people would go to buy weed from.
This dude. Salute Lametris for the $20. I appreciate you, gang. Yeah, this dude right here's something else, man. He drive a hoopty. He sells green. He drives a 1999 piece of, and he stalks women and beats the hell out of them and is a serial kidnapper. Ladies, you sure know how to pick him, right?
On his Instagram, he was flashy.
Flashy? Look what he drove.
He was showing off cars, cash, and a lifestyle that made him seem lit than he actually was. He often hung around well-known Philly influencers, even appearing on stage with the Philly Goats, the group behind the viral hip rock dance that blew up on TikTok.
But they were twirling like ballerinas. I don't know. Hold on, we ain't finna speed past that. Like that viral dance wasn't zesty as fuck. That dude was looking like a whole damn, what is that, video vixen.
With the Philly Goats, the group behind the viral hip rock dance that blew up on TikTok.
Yeah, we don't rock our hips. I'm sorry. Men, are we rocking hips in 2025? We not doing that shit. What y'all got going on? I ain't gonna lie, y'all YNs or y'all y'all look like y'all be pitching and catching. I mean, some of y'all YNs, I'm convinced take D. Let's continue.
surrounded himself with people who made him look popular and well-connected. But according to women online, he had a darker side. A history of harassing and stalking women around the city. It'd been discovered that he'd been creating hidden Twitter pages under fake names, using them to approach women, sometimes offering money for meetups, other times claiming he could supply them with.
What I tell you, he liked to supply green and get his way.
Tell them to follow his IG so they can message him, and further on their link-ups. Just from that little information alone, we can see what type of guy he was. If you want to watch this full video, search.
Man. And these girls falling for that bullshit.
Kada's friend mentioned that he wasn't the kind of guy she'd normally date. Plus, she was already in a relationship. She had a boyfriend.
And notice that they're in the exact same spot where she was unalived at, which is more cringe. Her and her boyfriend, their first date, he took her to the woods. The very first time he took Kada out, they went to the woods.
She was likely just being friendly, and he ended up becoming obsessed. A woman named Gabby, who had known him for years, said he reached out to her shortly before Kada went missing, asking questions about her, like who she was and where she worked. She said the call lasted less than 30 seconds, but something about it felt off. At the time, she didn't report it, thinking it wasn't serious. But looking back, that brief conversation became one of the most unsettling details in the case. If you want to watch this full video...
Man, Gabby, I want you in jail, Gabby.
Unsettling details in the case. In her message, Gabby explains that she didn't personally know Kada. She only knew Kada's little sister from childhood. She says that before Kada went missing, the suspect called her asking if she knew Kada, mentioning that he noticed she lived nearby. Gabby says the call lasted around 29 seconds and felt casual at the time, since he often called her to talk about girls. She didn't report it to police because by the time she realized the situation was serious, he had already turned himself in. Gabby ends her post by saying she prays for Kada and her family, and that she hopes Kada makes it home safe. It's clear. Keon had been watching Kada from a distance for some time. It's unclear exactly how long the stalking went on, but since Kada had told her family someone had been harassing her for weeks, it became clear that Keon had grown obsessed. He admired her looks and became fixated. Kada had no idea he was following her every move, keeping tabs, trying to learn about her, find her number, and track down her social media. Eventually, he did. So the next question is, how and why did Kada get into his car? Investigators believe he likely lured her in under false pretenses. Keon was known around the neighborhood. That made him less suspicious. Police think he may have approached Kada casually, maybe offering her a ride or trying to make a quick sale. Couldn't have been the first option since she had her own car. Now mind you, he wasn't a total stranger. She might have seen him around. She might have not have seen him as a threat. Her phone records later confirmed that the two had been in contact shortly before she disappeared. That communication suggests he convinced her to meet up, maybe for something simple or harmless sounding. At the scene, there was no evidence of a struggle or forced entry. That detail alone points to the possibility that Kada willingly got into his vehicle, completely unaware of what was about to happen. Our theory is that she was buying weed from him and trusted him. He might have told her something like, "Come ride with me to grab it from my house," or something along those lines. Whatever he said, it was convincing enough for her to agree.
Someone said, where did he get the $20K from his first bail? His parents are rich. They live in a fucking mansion.
For her to agree. Now this is all speculation. Nobody really knows why she got into his car. And since Keon is in custody, he's not.
Hey, we almost to 700 likes, y'all. Everybody double tap the screen, man. Let's get these likes up, man. Double tap that screen. Let's go.
Not talking. Things could have gone a lot worse. He could have gotten her in the car and immediately pulled out a gun or held her hostage. We don't know for sure yet, but it likely had something to do with a deal, especially since Kada smoked too. His ex described him as charming at first, even caring. But beneath that was someone obsessive and controlling. It's likely he used the same manipulation on Kada, making her feel comfortable just long enough to let her guard down. But the next question is, if Kada was being harassed, would she have known it was him? Let's take it back. She never gave her family a name. Kada told them someone had been bothering her, but she never said who. If she'd known it was Keon, they would have gone straight to police. That silence showed she probably hadn't connected the dots. The harassment could have come from fake pages, blocked numbers, or even quick encounters where she never saw his face. Since we already know Keon is good for making fake accounts, that's how she was getting harassed. Kada was being harassed by Keon, but had no idea it was him. She just knew someone was making her uncomfortable. By the time she realized it might have been someone familiar, he'd already earned enough of her trust to make his move. Keon's ex came forward online. She said she dated the same man people had been whispering about. Her story was disturbing. She claimed he used to show up uninvited and harass her even after she blocked him.
So I met this guy in 2023. It was either January or February. And I met him through my cousin. So he is a DRUG dealer. He was selling to my cousin. My cousin told me he was going to pick me up, take me to his house.
Now let's pause the video right here. Remember when we said he might have told Kada to ride with him to his house to pick up the stuff? Well, now we know that's exactly the kind of thing he says to get girls into his car.
And then he was just going to drop me off at his house because my cousin wanted him to come quicker with.
Yeah, this is getting weirder and weirder, man. This dude definitely got a pattern. He definitely has a pattern.
Family, friends, and community members once again held a vigil to remember Kada Scott last night. The property of the old Ada H. Lewis Middle School has been the gathering place where a makeshift memorial continues to grow and where Kada Scott's remains were found. The neighborhood has growing concerns about the vacant building, saying it is an eyesore and is now associated with a tragic crime. Action News reporter Captain Scott is live at the school in East Mount Airy, where nearby residents want the school district to finally do something about this, Captain.
That's right, Matt. The school has been closed for more than a decade, and there are calls to make the site more secure. You can see this morning that a memorial still sits right outside the school for Kada Scott. Councilmember Cindy Bass wrote a letter to the school district that the risks posed by this site are no longer hypothetical, they are real. You could see city crews at the vacant Ada Lewis Middle School yesterday, cleaning and clearing debris. This, one of the school district of Philadelphia's 20 vacant properties. On Saturday, the remains of 23-year-old Kada Scott were recovered in a wooded area behind the school, 2 weeks after she went missing. Last Friday, as the search was still underway in the area around the school, Councilmember Cindy Bass wrote a letter to School District Superintendent Dr. Tony Watlington, urging him to demolish the structure and secure the site to prevent further harm. Bass wrote that the site has become more than an eyesore, but is now associated with...
I didn't see you throw me up another 20 piece. Thank you, Lametris, for that 20 piece. I appreciate you. Salute. Thank you.
criminal activity and tragic violence. Last night, a school district spokesperson said their vacant buildings are regularly inspected with patrol protocols in place. This campus last checked on October 14th, with no evidence of unauthorized activity identified. The search was ongoing at that point.
and a detailed tip would lead investigators to Scott in a shallow grave 4 days later. And in a statement from the school district, the spokesperson also said facilities works closely with school safety for routine site checks and strategically allocates vendor and labor resources to maximize efficiency. The school district this week says they're reviewing protocols for all their vacant properties. We're live in East Mount Airy, Catherine Scott, Channel 6 Action News.
Man, the Philly, remind me never to go there.
I can confirm that we've received correspondence from Councilmember Bass. Let me just say first that our deepest sympathies are with the family of Kada Scott and the city of Philadelphia as the police department works to bring justice and closure to the Scott family. In the school district, certainly we are dedicated to supporting the safety and well-being of our student staff and certainly neighborhoods to the extent that we can. As you know, we're in the closing phases of a facilities planning process. And our operations division, along with the Office of Facilities Management and our Office of School Safety, are reviewing protocols around our vacant properties. And Ada Lewis is certainly one of those, and we'll have more to say about that in the coming weeks.
So now y'all want to get rid of all the vacant properties because that's where all the people are unaliving people, and that's where all the bones are with all the missing people. Now y'all want to do something about all the fucking missing people and all the dead bodies and all. Now you want to do something because Kada Scott put pressure on your law enforcement team, and now the DA is about to get fired, and now the judge is about to get fired, and now the whole police district is under fire. Now y'all want to do something. Man, fuck y'all.
Of the work in uncovering the case of Kada Scott, that 23-year-old whom police sources say was kidnapped by Keon King outside the Chestnut Hill assisted living facility where she worked, is we know that police say she was likely killed 20 minutes after she got into a 2008 Hyundai Accent driven by King. That was all the way back on October 4th. Investigators believe King later took Kada Scott's body to an area behind the former Ada H.H. Lewis Middle School in East Germantown. Scott was found on Saturday buried in a shallow grave. Police say Keon King and someone they believe to be an accomplice are seen at that location from cameras on the Albury Rec Center, which is next door. We can confirm through our sources the first tip bringing police to the middle school campus last Wednesday was a call made to 911. Police say they left there, finding only Scott's cell phone case, a bank card, and glasses. But listen up, it was then on Friday night, our sources telling us, police received an email tip with a more urgent directive, telling police, go back to the middle school property and keep looking. Those details were a bit more specific, according to prosecutors.
Wait. You received an email tip and you're the fucking police? Emails can be traced, right? Right back to the person who sent it to you. So now something it was an email tip. That's even crazy. You can't trace that email back to the person who sent you an anonymous email. It should give you an IP address. Every computer has an IP address, unless they were just calling, with a VPN or something. Unless they had a VPN. I don't know, man. This is weird.
Prosecutors said the identity of the tipster is not known, but their involvement, mark this, is under investigation. Keon King is still being held on $250,000 cash bail. Charges connected to the torching of that Hyundai Accent, police say, used to transport Scott's remains, are expected to be filed anytime. I continue to refresh the docket here on my phone.
Even if it was from a library, the library has computers and there's a timestamp. I'm not dumb, stupid, or slow, y'all. Come on. You can't get nothing past me. No matter what you say, I got a counter for that. Okay? It don't matter where it was at. If it came from a library or a public place, look at the timestamp, pull the fucking cameras. Let's go.
Nothing just yet, but those charges and the affidavit could provide us with some more information about the critical role that car played in transporting Kada Scott from the assisted living facility to Ada Lewis Middle School. We've also reached out to an attorney of record listed for Keon King. We've left messages. We have not heard back.
Lock 'em up. Lock 'em up. That's all I can say. Lock them up.
Gabby basically stated that her, Keon, and Kada were all mutual friends. Keon was also the neighborhood pharmacist. Keon would call Gabby to check up on her from time to time because that's the type of friendship they had. One day, Keon calls Gabby and asks, "Hey, do you know Kada Scott? I realize you guys live close to each other." She said, "Yes, I do know Kada Scott. She lives right behind me." She said the convo lasted all of 30 seconds and then he hung up. There was no other words exchanged. She didn't think anything of it. 2 days later, she's on the phone with her best friend and she's telling her best friend, "Hey, Keon asked about Kada. Maybe he likes her, is trying to get with her, whatever the case may be." They were just gossiping. Mind you, Gabby claims that she does not know Kada Scott personally, but she knows Kada Scott's little sister, and that's how they know Kada Scott, because they grew up with her little sister. A week after all of this happened, on October 4th, it was reported that Kada Scott was missing. Granted, Gabby states that she lives in Maryland, so she does not pay attention to Philly news. Her best friend was the one who informed her that Kada Scott is missing. Gabby then calls Keon back and says, "Keon, that Kada girl is missing." Keon's like, "What?" And he hangs the phone up. Gabby then states that Keon is her friend and she would have never imagined him to do anything like this. However, 3 to 4 days later, her mom ended up sending her an article of Keon turning himself in. Now here's where things get suspect. Gabby's talking to her best friend about everything that's going on, and her best friend's telling her, "I feel like you should call the police and tell them that Keon was asking about Kada." Gabby's like, "Oh, well, he already turned himself in. I don't like calling the police. That's not something that I do," and this, that, and the third. My thing is, though, you ran to TikTok to tell us, though, but not the police. Okay, let's keep following. Gabby's best friend told her,
That's something else I didn't understand. I don't talk to the police, but I'm going to get on a police ass app and tell everybody on this app exactly what I would not tell the police. I don't fuck with 12, but I'm going to get online and snitch so the cops can see me and hear me. Hey, it's me. I don't want to talk to y'all on the phone, but I'd rather talk to y'all. Just look at my face and just hear my words. Girl, shut your goofy ass up.
"Well, if you don't want to call the cops, I don't want to be friends with you anymore." And she said that that's fine. I just don't want any involvement in the case. But here's my thing. Gabby said that, why would I tell the police that he was questioning me about Kada when they already have him in custody? That's a waste of time, and that information is irrelevant. Suspect number 2. Gabby's best friend then hangs up the phone and calls her back with the police on the other line.
They said, Ratchet, if you look at the screenshot Gabby posted of the 29-second call, that she said Keon called her, but if you look at the pic, it's an outgoing call. She called him.
Would y'all believe this girl really told her she's not speaking to any police and she does not want to talk to a police officer? Now here's just what doesn't add up to me. Somebody called you about a stranger and you gave a stranger, another stranger's information on where they live at. Not to mention, your own friend called you about this specific person before they went missing. I'm talking days before they went missing. And then you refuse to cooperate and help the police out by telling them, hey, he had been inquiring about her, he's been asking where she stays, etc. You don't want to talk to no police officers. You keep mentioning that you're in Maryland for a reason. Like, it's just really given, I had something to do with it, but I don't want to be involved because I didn't want to be involved from the beginning. That's what it's giving. And another thing I find a little suspect is the fact that he literally has an extensive criminal history and record. So you're telling me that this was your friend that you were good, great friends with for 5 years, but you never knew about any other case he had going on with other women? Because he most definitely have gone to jail for stalking and harassing other women. So I don't know, something about Gabby is just really fishy to me, but what do y'all think? And then the police did say that there's other suspects that they are looking to arrest because
she's a liar. Gabby is full of shit and Gabby needs to be in somebody's jail.
Okay, yeah, I'm back. I know yesterday I had left off with the Kada Scott video, but it's like I had to go and look and really like read stuff and just watch videos. I believe that Gabby and her best friend is involved. And before y'all get the best friend was saying go to the police. Listen here. Now, where my confusion left off was the phone calls, because I was like, let me look into it before I speak on it. Because what do you mean it took 29 seconds for him to call you or for her to call him? Because people was like, oh no, she said she called him. But anyways, why would it take 29 seconds for Gabby to tell Keon where Kada lived? But when Gabby had called Keon to tell him, oh, Kada's missing and all this other stuff, y'all stayed on the phone for 2 minutes. Like, that's kind of, wouldn't it be the other way around? Because she said that she told him and then the call dropped. If you told him and then the call dropped, how the fuck did it go on for 2 minutes? Like, that's not making sense. And it's given the best friend was pushing for Gabby to say something, and Gabby's like, oh, I don't talk to the police because, one, they said Keon told her not to. But two, I feel like it's because she's fucking involved, and the best friend was pushing it because she was involved. Mind you, I'm finna tell you why I feel this way. One, I feel like Gabby liked the Keon, but Keon liked the Kada. Because mind y'all, I don't think she said that her and Kada were friends, but she knew Kada's little sister and they grew up in the same neighborhood as neighbors. It's giving long distance jealousy or something, because it's like, I'm still not comprehending why the fuck she would tell that boy where the fuck she at. Then there's the best friend. You don't like this bitch, so of course I don't like this bitch neither. Like, we gonna be malicious towards her type shit. I feel like they gave him the address to be malicious.
Can y'all imagine? Now, if this is just me, if one of my homeboys called me and was like, hey, fam, I seen your neighbor and she was kind of hot, bro. You know what I'm saying? Hey, which house she live in? I'm like, nigga, that's weird. What the fuck you on? Okay, well, where she work at? Nigga, I don't fucking know. What are you stalking this girl? What the fuck you got? Do I need to call 12? What you mean where she work at? I'm not gonna give you this girl drop. Boy, you better go over there and talk to her your damn self. I don't know what the fuck you doing, but I would have had to warn her. Look, I don't know what my homeboy on, but that nigga asking some weird questions about you. You be on the lookout, because I don't know what he on.
But they didn't think he would take it this fucking far. Like, they definitely was some monetary spirits, because why the best friend get on here walking the same path that Kada walk her dog? Like, it just don't make no sense. A lot of people saying, oh, well, you grew up in the same neighborhood.
Yeah, and how y'all know? Oh, yeah, she walks her dog down this path. She's always walking her dog over here. So y'all were stalking him. It sounds like y'all were stalking her for Keon. Well, I keep saying, if y'all keep hearing me say Keon, it's because of the Mo 3 case and Keon White. So excuse me if I ever say Keon instead of Keon. I'm tied into cases. I'm covering both right now, so excuse me.
Well, you notice people patterns. This is the same girl that's saying, hey, I know this girl, but I'm not that close with her. But yet your best friend know the same route the girl take to walk her fucking dog.
11-11, make a wish.
Then the thing that's making all this shit crazy is the fact that when they found Kada's body, they found another body by hers. Like, is this nigga a serial killer? Then I had watched one video, some girl had said that he went up to her job. This man was actively stalking her. And you don't give her extra, like, and it's like if you're talking on the phone with him, because Gabby made it clear that she known him for 4 or 5 years. Her and her best friend was, kind of close with him or whatever. So it's like, I'm pretty sure he made those stalkerish intentions very clear to you. And like, I'm pretty sure he's talked about Kada like around you or something like that. And it's like, I really did feel like Gabby feels some type of way about that, because like, bro, me personally as a female, if I see anybody obsessing over anybody, baby, not only am I finna warn them, but I'm finna see what the fuck going on with you, because it's like, leave that person alone, especially if you know they have a boyfriend, they're not interested in you. Then Keon ugly as fuck. I can only imagine how scared Kada was when this boy was fucking unaliving her. Like, this shit just disgusted me. But one thing I do know, it's a lot of more people involved. Because how the fuck has he been scammed by like this? Then towards the beginning of this year, he had charges towards another woman for assault, and they were dropped. Then on top of that, we have the damn phone call about the body, because when they searched the area, the body wasn't there. Then they call like, oh yeah, the body is there. You might need to go back and research the area because she's definitely there. Then they go back and it's a fresh grave with her body.
Man. Which video is this?
Part of the work in uncovering the case of Kada Scott, that 23-year-old whom police sources say was kidnapped by Keon King outside the Chestnut Hill assisted living facility where she worked, is we know that police say She was likely killed 20 minutes after she got into a 2008 Hyundai Accent driven by King. That was all the way back on October 4th. Investigators believe King later took Kada Scott's body to an area behind the former Ada H.H. Lewis Middle School in East Germantown. Scott was found on Saturday buried in a shallow grave. Police say Keon King and someone they believe to be an accomplice are seen at that location from cameras on the Albury Rec Center, which is next door. We can confirm through our sources the first tip bringing police to the middle school campus last Wednesday was a call made to 911. Police say they left there finding only Scott's cell phone case, a bank card, and glasses. But listen up, it was then on Friday night, our sources telling us, police received an email tip with a more urgent directive telling police, go back to the middle school property and keep looking. Those details were a bit more specific according to prosecutors. Prosecutors said the identity of the tipster is not known, but their involvement, mark this, is under investigation. Keon King is still being held on $250,000 cash bail. Charges connected to the torching of that Hyundai Accent, police say, used to transport Scott's remains, are expected to be filed anytime. I continue to refresh the docket here on my phone. Nothing just yet, but those charges and the affidavit could provide us with some more information about the critical role that car played in transporting Kada Scott from the assisted living facility to Ada Lewis Middle School. We've also reached out to an attorney of record listed for Keon King. We've left messages. We have not heard back.
And you ain't gonna hear back. Fuck Keon King. He is no motherfucking king. Keon King. Hold on, man. Man. What's going on, Ratchet Gang? Got another crazy ass story. Another crazy ass night, man. What are y'all thoughts on what the fuck we just witnessed? I don't know. This got to be top 5 craziest stories I've ever covered. Probably this is creeping up in the top 3. Maybe the top. I don't know. We've covered some crazy shit. This definitely top 3. I don't know off the top of my head because I've covered so much shit over the past 5 years, damn near 4.5, 5 years. But this one probably is gonna take the cake. I don't know. This is crazy. I don't know too many more crazy stories I've covered that just more weird than this. This is a weird ass case with many layers to it, from police to friends to you just don't know. It looks like the library might be get subpoenaed shit. Because who the fuck sending these weird ass tips? Then the spiritual readers always come in on these cases, and it just gets weirder and weirder. You know, once the spiritual readers get into it, it's always there's a play being ran somewhere. Says the dog scaring the hell out of me behind you. I got my damn Halloween shit over there. So, yeah. Don't mind my crazy ass dolls in the background. I got my Halloween. We doing a Halloween party over. I'm gonna have more crazy ass shit in this room too. So y'all just don't get scared. Just she's like, man, that doll's scaring the shit out of me right now. What the fuck you got going on, man? Nah, salute. So y'all, we are living in some very dark times and demonic times, very much so. So leave us out of your shit. I think and the boyfriend linked up with Dior. What? Gabby and her friend and his brother need to go to jail. I think the brother is I think his brother is gonna be one of the accomplices, and I think that Gabby ends up being locked up. Those are the accomplices. I heard it was 2 dudes, but even if it ain't, I think that it's gonna be the brother for sure. And if there's more than one other person out there, I think it was another dude, but it could have just been Keon and his brother. And I think Gabby. Keon, the brother, and Gabby are the 3 people that I do believe are involved in this. I think it's Keon, Keon's brother, and Gabby. Because Keon's brother was seen up at her damn work and shit like that. What is your brother doing at her damn job, man? Like, what do y'all boys got going on out here, man? I don't know what it is, but it's loose. I don't know, Ratchet Gang. Y'all tell me y'all thoughts on this, man. This is a crazy ass story. Love you all, Ratchet and Gang. Salute to all y'all, man. The brother probably moved the body because he was locked up. Now that I do believe. I think the brother is the one who moved that body to the spot. I think Keon didn't have to tell him because obviously he was locked up and the phones were being recorded. But I think that he already knew what time it was. He knew where the body was. And if you look at, and I do believe they need to subpoena Gabby's phone records, get all of her text messages and get her call logs. And I do believe you'll be able to piece things together if you get Gabby's phone records. Subpoena Gabby's phone records and you'll solve the case. That's all you got to do. If you subpoena her, it's over. Mark my words, she's the key to this case. Gabby knows the ins and outs of everything that went on before, during, and after. And I think she's worked with him before, in my opinion. Whomever the dude was in the passenger seat when he was driving, I bet that's his shadow in the street. Everybody never alone. I don't know what you meant by that, but okay. It said, brother moved the body, Gabby made the call. Yep, Gabby is most definitely involved. If y'all believe Gabby is involved, I want everybody to drop the gems in this chat. If you think Gabby is not involved, drop the caps. Who thinks Gabby is involved? We also did a poll. Will more people be charged in Kada Scott case? 91% of the room says yes. 9% of the room says no. I don't know, Ratchet Gang. All I do know is this is another crazy story, and we will continue to be right on top of everything going on in the Kada Scott case. I don't know what else to tell y'all, but what I can say is when I end this video, everybody jump over to that comment section and do your big one. I need all my moderators and green members jump in that comment section when I end this live. And again, we will be back tomorrow night or tomorrow during the day sometime. Yeah, man. Let's keep this going, y'all. Hopefully y'all enjoy my content. If so, double tap the screen on your way out of here. I'm finna go ahead and get the hell up off here. I'm hungry as hell. And yeah, I'm just ready to get the hell off here and give me something to eat. I am hungry. Y'all know I have my wisdom tooth pulled. I haven't been able to eat nothing for so long. I actually got to eat a burger today, and that motherfucker was good. Let me tell you, that motherfucker was good. Yeah, I gotta go find me something else to eat. I need some real food. I've been eating damn chicken noodle soup, applesauce, and pudding for like 6 days. Fuck that. I don't want to look at no more pudding, applesauce, or none of that shit. I need some damn food. You know what I'm saying? I need food. Fuck that. So yeah, salute to y'all. This your boy Big Ratchet. That's Ratchet Gang. And this is Ratchet TV. And by the way, Heartbreak Season drops Friday, the 24th. Y'all get ready. That's the last single before the album drops on the 31st. For all the Ratchets is dropping on the 31st. Heartbreak Season will be in every store possible on the 24th. So y'all get ready. I think that's Friday, if I'm not mistaken. But yeah, it's coming Friday. Y'all get ready. Heartbreak Season will drop Friday. That's the last single before the album drops. I gave y'all a single every week before the album drops. So salute to the gang, man. I love y'all. I'm going to get the hell up off here. Salute to all my moderators. Salute to the green members. Salute to everyone who pulled up, popped out, showed up, and showed out. Thank you for all the subscribers that have came in. Salute to everybody. I love all y'all. Stay safe. Stay alert. Teach your kids something. Teach your kids, man, how to maneuver in this world like we've been maneuvering. They not as smart as us. So, hey, man, each one teach one. If y'all need me, you know how to reach me. I'm not going to give y'all a speech after this. I just think that everybody kind of understands what it is, but I do want y'all to have a conversation in that comment section when I end this video. Salute to the gang. I'm out.